The Best You has firmly established itself as a leader in the world of personal development for over 10 years now. As a leading global brand, The Best You has created and delivered many unique opportunities that have helped and supported so many people in achieving their dreams and aspirations. During this time, we provided our customers with essential tools, skills, knowledge, and wisdom that is second to none. We have taken personal development to new heights, reaching hundreds of thousands of people from around the world, helping them discover their true purpose to ultimately becoming the best version of themselves. Since its launch in late 2020, we have built an amazing TV network where we share the best of The Best You, which is built with an impressive library of content that has been produced over the years, like the Best You EXPO talks, with all of the amazing speakers that have shared the stage. Inspiring People interviews, where I interview top world leaders, speakers, athletes, and entrepreneurs. Such people as Baroness Michelle Moe, Alistair Campbell, Dr. Richard Bandler, John Amici, Michelle Patterson, James Arthur Ray, and so many more. Our NLP Live Talk series features talks from world-renowned NLP experts. In addition to NLP Live Talks, we launched our new TV show, The Best Series, where I interview some of the best coaches, speakers, mentors, and authors. People like Smita Joshi, Fiona Campbell, Erica Faye, Dr. Cheryl Wood, Barbie Layton, and the list goes on and on. Plus, there's a variety of other TV channels like the Rethink Academy, from renowned expert Paul O'Mahony, who teaches people how to make money with social media, how to nurture your list, how to manage social networks, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so much more. We're also very excited to announce our Mass Experience show. Sajady is an expert in transforming lives the fastest way possible. His methods break through the limitations of psychology, self-improvement, and even gene therapy. We have a number of these episodes streaming live now on The Best You TV. You can also watch Dr. Fabrizio Mancini's Thriving in the New Normal. Dr. Fabrizio Mancini is America's #1 healthy living media expert, a world-renowned chiropractor, Hay House International best-selling author of The Power of Self-Healing. In his show, he interviews world leaders like Jack Canfield, Nick Vujicic, Joe Vitale, John DeMartini, Brian Tracy, John Assaraf, Les Brown, and so many more. You can also watch Barbie Layton, You Are Amazing, where she interviews amazing people like Naveen Jain, Ken Honda, and Diana McKenna. What's exciting about The Best You TV is how we attract so many experts, leaders, well-being brands, and doctors interested in promoting their products and services. This is because they're able to target new and exciting markets by leveraging the power of TV apps like Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, iOS, and Google Play. With engaging adverts with QR codes, information on the programs, and call to actions on their adverts. The Best You TV will soon be streaming hundreds of live events through its network. So act now. If you think you have what it takes and you're ready for the next level and becoming an instant recognized leader, then contact us today. The Inspiring People interview series is a collection of exclusive interviews sure to inspire and motivate you. I'm Bernardo Moya, the founder and Chief Inspirational Officer of The Best You. And in this series of interviews, I'm in conversation with industry leaders, thought leaders, self-made millionaires, Olympians, and global sports personalities, the influencers of today's world. I find out about their start in life, their early days, their rise to success, and both the good and the bad times. We discuss their opinions on education, business, money, and just how to be happier. Join us to find out more about these fascinating and inspiring people.
Are you a speaker? Are you an author? Are you an expert? Do you have a message for the world? Are you crazy enough to think that you could actually make a difference? Well, at Top Talent Agency, we're looking for you. We want to help you publish that book, get the publicity you deserve, and actually monetize the message that you have to help other people. If you feel like you need somebody working in your corner to publish you, to publicize you, to promote you, to market you, to book you on stage, to get you featured in the media, then we're what you're looking for, and we want to talk to you. Go to toptagency.com or reach out to us today, because you deserve someone to manage your talent.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, authors, and leaders with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara DeAngelis, Harry Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Mone, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo is coming back in LA in March 2023. Bigger, older. The Best You Expo will also be streamed on the Best You TV. This event is for anyone and everyone that wants to connect, reach, inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
Founded in 2011, Hotmart is one of the global leaders in digital product sales. With a global presence and offices around the world, Hotmart is in a state of constant growth. Our mission has already helped thousands of people build online businesses and thousands of buyers learn something new, achieving personal and professional development.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Learn and grow from in-depth interviews, documentaries, inspirational talks, and motivational masterclasses from the world's biggest thought leaders, speakers, teachers, authors, coaches, and highly successful business gurus. The Best You TV is now live.
Sorry, guys. Technical issues here. I was talking to myself. I was saying that thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, and welcome to day 2 of the Love Event. I'm sure you're all checking your sounds. No, it was me. So thank you so much for being here. It was an amazing day yesterday. Very, very exciting. So many great panelists, so many great speakers. It was just a phenomenal day. We had Dame Doria Cordova running a couple of panels for us, David Fagan helping me hosting, and also running a couple of panels himself as well. I did a panel on psychedelics. Now, a lot of you who obviously signed up for the premium online ticket, well, you're going to be getting the recordings because we keep getting asked, where can we see the recordings? Well, look, the recordings will be available in the Best UTV at some point, probably within a week. But if you wanted to see them quickly, you wanted to get access to them, well, any premium online ticket holder can do that. Now, the information for the premium online ticket is on the webpage, but this is one of the house rules. Make sure you get your phone out and you scan these QR codes, because yesterday a lot of the speakers were giving so many great things: products, books, ebooks, access to courses. And again, all the speakers that are here, this is them working, studying, learning, and providing you some phenomenal insight in a talk, in a panel. So, it's just an amazing opportunity for you to be able to engage. But look, we're offering $10,000 in bonuses for any of you that decides to go premium. So it's not too late. You can get access to all those amazing bonuses if you wanted to. Now, we want to hear your thoughts and comments. So depending on where you're watching it, if you're watching it on Zoom, and we provide you the Zoom links in the booking confirmations, but it's also in the loveevent.com webpage. You'll see it there. You can connect onto the Zoom link, which is a stream from this, and then you have the opportunity to chat, to ask, communicate with any of the other people that are involved. The speakers can't actually technically respond to you on Zoom, but we can do that on Facebook. We can do that on YouTube. But please share. Let us know what you think. And please also share the screen. Share it with your friends. The hashtag is the Love Event. So share as much as you can, because we have an amazing day planned for you also today. So I'm just going to give you some insight of what you can expect today, because we've got some exciting panels. Now, our first panel of the day is Becoming Superhuman Through Love. This is a phenomenal panel, which is hosted by Nate Zelensky, and he's brought some phenomenal people. Chad Allen, he's also got Caroline Cory, one of the producers. We've got some phenomenal panelists on that panel. We've got Tough Love through the Tough Love Leadership, which is hosted by David Fagan. Do we find love or cultivate it? That's with Sajady. Has a massive following. We've got lots of people asking us about the recordings. Well, hey, you can get access to the recordings if so you wanted. And then we've got a panel that's called Taboo Sex Expert Panel, Rated R, Sophisticated Sex Conversations for the Curious. Now, this is a panel that is going to be hosted by Dr. Darcy. She is, she was one of the main hosts of a show in E! Entertainment. And she's going to be hosting that panel. She's also speaking today. So the agenda's on the webpage. We were pretty much on time yesterday. I think we were only like 5-10 minutes late at certain times. But apart from that, everything was, we were on point, on time. Now, a couple of other things. As I said, we're sharing all sorts of information related to the opportunities that you have in order to connect and engage with people. That should be one of the reasons that you obviously get your phone out, not to call your mom or anyone else. Just make sure that you get your phone out so you can scan those QR codes, because we're showing them throughout the day. All right, so just to give you an idea on the agenda for today, in case you haven't seen it, well, this is it. I'm just doing an intro today. I'm going to be inviting a few guests so you can get to know them a little bit. Ken and Marisa Peer. We've got Shiraz, Baboo, Danella, Burnett. David is going to be hosting that with me. And then we've got a talk from David Fagan, Becoming Significant, How to Invoke Sacred Words that Unlock the Real Power. We're going to be talking a little bit about the EXPO. We're getting a lot of questions and a lot of inquiries regarding the EXPO. I'm not sure if you know, but my brand, The Best You, and my expertise has been The Best You EXPO. I've been doing that for quite some time. It was an event that started with 3,000 people in London, ended up with 14,000 people, 180 speakers. So we're very excited to be back in LA in 2023. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that, because there's a lot of speakers and panelists that are already involved in the Love Event that are speaking at the Best You Expo. So if you want to find out more how you can get involved, We're expecting anything from 15 to 25,000 people. So it's going to be an exciting event. The dates for the Best You Expo is between the 3rd and the 5th of March. And well, I'll be talking a little bit more about that. But if you wanted just to find out more, well, you can just scan that code there, thebestyouexpo.com, and you'll find a little bit more information. But I'll be talking a little bit more later. Now, we've got at 11 Eastern Time, we've got Ken and Marisa Segal talking about the 4 Gs of connected relationships. We then have a panel at 11:25. It's called Becoming Superhuman Through Love. Then we've got Caroline Cory. She's got her talk, and that's how to achieve full brain capacity and universal consciousness. Caroline, and I'm going to be playing a documentary in a minute. She's a producer of a phenomenal documentary that's on Amazon that's called Superhuman. So I will play a quick commercial about that so you can find a little bit more about how amazing she is. Now, we've got a panel at 1 o'clock that's called Tough Love Leadership. That's hosted by David. We've got Isabel Donadio, Jennifer Mahoney, and Moira. We've got there as well. And then we're featuring an author, which is Sarah Davison, who joined us yesterday. She had a phenomenal panel yesterday around narcissists and how to deal with difficult people, which was a great panel. And we're going to be talking about her book, one of her latest books. Then we've got a great, really exciting panel I'm really looking forward to being part of myself. It's called the Good Media Movement. It's a panel that David Fagan's put together. And we've got Mo Rock joining us, Jim Paul from Newcom, Isabel Donadio, who's the editor of Top Talent magazine, and Doria Cordoba. At 2:15, Do We Find Love or Cultivate It? That's Sajady. We've got a great panel there. And then at 3 o'clock, we've got What Trust and Santa Claus Have in Common. That's just such a great title. We want to find out more, don't we? Then we have at 3:30, we've got Access to Cash. That's the author of, that's Doria Cordoba. Then we've got the Taboo Sex Topics panel at 3:30. That's the one I was telling you about, Dr. Darcy. Jen Duplessis, we've got an interview with her. She's a phenomenal speaker at the event. She's a speaker partner. We love Jen. And then we're spotlighting a few people like Gunther Muller and Kim Serafini, who is the founder of Positive Prime. We've been sharing some information on Positive Prime. And then Kim is going to actually be doing her talk at, Kim's going to be doing her talk at 10 to 5. And then we finish the day with an interview with Jim Paul from Newcom. He's got a phenomenal brand. So it's going to be a great opportunity to meet the man who's actually created a phenomenal platform that so many people are using around the world. Apart from that, I think we've got some really amazing opportunities for all sorts of people to get involved. And yes, I think I skipped the Becoming Superhuman Through Love panel. That's at 11:25 with Nate Zelensky. We've got Chad Allen, Caroline Cory, Dr. Todd. You got to listen to Dr. Todd. He's amazing. And we've got Satyan Raja. So that's the agenda for today. I hope you all, basically stay as long as you can, because this is an opportunity to talk about the really important things. The event has always been about real conversations about kindness, caring, and consciousness. And that's what we've been doing. And that's what we're going to be doing throughout the 3 days. It isn't only about romantic love. It's about how can we become better humans? How can we give more? How can we do more? So that's the intention of the event. We've had thousands of people register, but this is an event that we hope to run every single year and that will grow exponentially. We're streaming it live also on the Best You TV, as you know. And if you haven't downloaded the apps, you can. And how you can download the apps, you simply got to go to the Best You TV webpage or just get your phone out and scan them. Download the apps. We're available on Roku, Apple, Amazon, Google Play, and iOS. There's no excuse. So, hey, listen, if you've got to leave and you're going somewhere, well, why not watch it on the app? We've got some phenomenal content on the Best You TV. We have shows, interviews, great content, and so much more is coming. This event will be available as a recording. As I said, within 6 to 7 days, it will all be uploaded onto the Best You TV too. So I want to thank everyone that's helped us and supported us. I want to also give a big shout out to a lot of the people that have made this event possible. And it's not only because they contributed financially, but they contributed with their expertise. They promoted the event to their list, and they've helped us make this event a reality. So David's going to be joining me later, but I want to give David Fagan and Isabel Donadio and his team a big thank you, because not only they've contributed, but they've also kind of made it happen. I've shared everything about the Love event from the beginning with him. Big shout out to David. Sajady, Jen Duplessis, Hotmart, which is one of the sponsors, Positive Prime, Newcomer Jim Poole, Danella Burnett, who I'm going to be interviewing very, very briefly, Alison Maya Rose Rogers, Mo Rock, Doria Cordova. I want to thank Nate Zelesnik, because it's Nate who's brought me some phenomenal people. Jennifer Huff, Ken Ronchen, Caroline Cory, and so many other great people. But before I bring on all my guests, I simply very quickly want to show you this very quick, a little taster of the documentary Superhuman, and that is produced by Caroline Cory, who's going to be speaking today. You've got to watch this show. It's amazing.
Because the energy is all around us, you can communicate with all types of different things.
Well, what we do here is collect intelligence against foreign threats using a parapsychology discipline called remote viewing. We essentially want to invite you to become a psychic spy.
We know our own CIA had been experimenting in psychic tests and abilities.
The Israelis had an interest in it and may still. We know for a fact that the Russians were involved in this. We know for a fact that the Chinese were and are probably still involved.
Something's happening that's bigger than us.
Oh my gosh, this is blowing my mind. Like, this is insane.
We are pieces of consciousness playing avatars in a virtual reality game called this physical world.
This is Captain Cory of the USS Red Recorder, leaving a message that may be detected in other universes.
The rain was tapping, and the windows and the wind was banging.
So we sort of come to this world, and I guess in our materialistic sense, we want to forget about vibrations. We just want to think of matter and stuff.
That's the whole unit. That's a large effect. The fact that you can change the acid-alkaline balance in water implies that you could change it in the body.
This is what this is about. Mind over matter.
Yeah, so that's the producer, Caroline Cory, who you saw on that brief intro, and it gives you just an insight of what a phenomenal lady she is and some of the things that she does. Apart from that, obviously, she's an expert herself in meditation and all sorts of very cool stuff related to neuroscience. So I'm going to start bringing some guests in. Let me bring in David quickly, because, you know, I've got David working very hard the whole weekend. He thought he was going to be kind of chilling and relaxing, but no way, David. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Doing really good.
We're still smiling, and it's only day two. So
that's right. Absolutely.
We're loving it. We were talking yesterday. We finished. It was late, but we still stayed to chat a little bit, kind of enjoying what an amazing day it was yesterday.
Yeah, we got people all around the world, so it's funny. You know, it's late, it's early, it's in the middle of the night. It's, I mean, we've got, you know, if Dame Doria Cordova is in Hawaii, it's 2 a.m. You know, we've got people in Europe and Australia. They're 12, 19 hours ahead of us over there. You know, we were getting up at 5, 6 a.m. over here. So when you say we finished late yesterday, well, we finished at about 3 p.m. my time. You know? True. So it's the concept of time does not exist within the love event. It's
no.
Construct.
It's what we managed to do. It's what we managed to do. But yeah, thank you, David. I thought it was a great day yesterday. Thank you so much for helping and supporting, and thank you to your team. So look, we're going to bring some guests in. Let's start with Danella, because we both know Danella well. Yeah, and I'll let you do an intro for her. Danella.
Hello, Bernardo and David.
Hey, how's it going?
Lovely. It's a very comfortable 10 a.m. here on the East Coast.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're spoiled. You're spoiled.
Thank you for accommodating me. I love it.
Well, it was all about making sure it was all right for you. Danella, thank you so much for being here and for supporting the event, because you brought us a great panel. And also, apart from that, well, you contributed in really helping us promote the event, which is obviously one of the things that you do. You know, you've been doing for quite some time. So Danella is the owner of Encore Elite Events and Speakers. need to speak. She's a creative force with a passion for connecting experts to those that they serve through speaking and events while generating profitable and impactful visibility. Through her connections, millions of dollars have been generated and tens of thousands of lives impacted through speaking and live events. She believes in multiple streams of income, collaboration, and always finding the win-win-win combination. So thank you, Danella. Thank you so much. So did you get a chance to tune in yesterday?
Yes, I did. What an assortment of experts. I mean, it was literally never a dull moment. I mean, if a particular topic was of interest to you, it was fast, it was furious. I loved the variety yesterday. I mean, really, really well done. I loved reading the comments, a really engaged audience. So I'm excited to be part of day 2 for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. So what, David, well, I was going to fire another question. Do you want to ask Danella? Because you obviously worked with Danella for a long time and you introduced me to her.
I was just going to say that we met Danella in about 2016. Same time I met Doria Cordova, same time I met Mo Rock, same time I met just a bunch of amazing people. And Doria has been a client and a friend for a long time. We've been putting on events for a long time, but I also just like to hit on the personal stuff. We've got these amazing bios here, but I can just tell you that Danella has a heart of gold, and her family is a close-knit family. And, we've been through a lot together. When you put on events together, it's like trauma bonding. You're like trauma bonding a little bit. Bernardo, me and you are almost there.
Oh, nice.
But no, I just wanted to add the personal touch too, that beyond all the business accolades, I can just tell you that Danella has a heart of gold, and she will go to the ends of the earth for her people, for her friends and her family.
Thank you, David. That means a lot.
Okay, thank you so much, Danella. Well, listen, I'm going to bring in another guest. Please stay here, and we'll hopefully just exchange a few more words, Danella, if you don't mind. What time? You got a panel later on today? I think I said the time. Yes.
Actually, tomorrow we have an amazing speakers panel tomorrow with several of my clients who are really making a difference in their communities as well as the world, with love at the heart of what they do. So really excited. That'll be tomorrow morning.
Yes, and that's speakers for making the world a better place. That's the panel. So thank you so much for that, Danella. Thank you for bringing everyone together. So let me bring in Ken Ashby and Marisa. Hey, Ken, how are you? Oh, you're muted.
Now we're not. Good morning. Good morning. Day 2
to all of you. And what an incredible fun. Wow.
Yes. Let me just introduce you quickly, and then we'll. I want to ask you a couple of questions. So Ken Ashby and Marisa Peer are America's master connectors. They collaborate and coach and consult with executives, entrepreneurs, celebrities, and rising leaders to identify and bring their professional, personal, and philanthropic vision to life. They combine their relationship marketing and mindset expertise with the power of head and heart leadership to build meaningful connections and impactful strategies that drive their clients' success. So thank you so much. You were involved yesterday in a panel, and I loved what you brought to it. What a great panel it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. And well, first of all, that question just had us talking the whole time. So we said, oh my gosh, what would the world be like if, right? We all asked that question. It was so powerful. And I think just to be able to ground in what's possible. And what really came through in it yesterday, which was interesting, was we were all talking about connection, relationships, the importance of that. And in our work, we talk about we're all connected. We're all connected as the human race first. And that's where the bottom line begins. So we loved yesterday because it brought that forward quite a bit for everybody.
And we love how you are connecting the world. As David was saying, you're connected all over the world. And there is so much desire and need in the world for this connection of love and this connection of feeling like we are all part of the whole piece of what we're doing. We are all connected.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I love you both. I love the energy you both bring together. Well, David helped me a lot, obviously, with the event. I already mentioned that. He came up with some really exciting, he's the word man, so he came up with some really exciting panels and titles. But actually, that was one of mine. What would the world be like if? And I remember I planted that question, which I don't know if we covered, but I think we definitely should have a panel on that. What would the world be like if women, were in charge? I'm telling you, seriously, I believe that if half the problems in the world, if not maybe 80% of the problems in the world, would disappear if countries and massive organizations were run by women. I'm telling you. So I don't know, us men, what the hell are we doing? Just get out of the way. Let them do what they do.
Take over.
Well, I'm laughing at that because, as you know, we've been together, almost 20 years, and so not only do we work together, play together, live together, we choose each other every day, even in our craziness. So Ken knows, okay, I'm on the minutia, the detail, those pieces, and he gets to do everything else, and then we get to share it.
I just follow directions. I found early on that Maris just does what I tell her to do.
Yes, I bet.
Yes. I always ask her first. I always ask her, what do you want to do? And then I ask her to do it.
Richard Bandler, who I worked with for a long time, the co-creator of NLP, he said, listen, you want to be happy, a happy man? There's only 2 words you need to learn. Yes, dear. That's it. Okay. You say yes, dear, and that's it. The world will be great. I actually had this chat with David the other day because I was saying, David, Isabel is Isabel Fagan, and sometimes she's got Isabel Donadio, and she's obviously been, from Donadio because she's got married to David. And she says, well, it depends the day. Sometimes she's more Fagan, sometimes she's Donadio. David, anything to comment on
that? Sometimes she wants to be a little bit more attached to me. Sometimes she wants to feel a little less attached to me.
Well, listen, she's a great other half. Let me just bring in Shiraz. Shiraz. Hey, Shiraz, how are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm very good, Shiraz. Great to meet you. We've only spoken over the phone, so thank you so much. Shiraz is an award-winning author, international speaker, and reality interventionist. Shiraz is to rewrite their business stories and their reality, because most people are unknowingly addicted to stories of adversity and struggle and left with a lack of success, confidence, and freedom. Shiraz helps you to, basically deal with the unconditioned addiction of these stories while learning to maintain calm confidence no matter what's going on. The result is a stream of high-paying clients along with an abundance of free time, money, and energy. Shiraz, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So Shiraz, did you manage to link in yesterday?
I did for a few of the talks. I was actually doing my own workshop yesterday, so I just jumped in where I could. But it was really good. Some of the talks there about love and how we perceive love and what it means to us based on what happened as we were growing up was just like, I loved hearing those different viewpoints and learned so much from it.
Well, Shiraz, thank you so much. And I think, I know you're involved in a panel with Danella tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. What's exciting you now? What do you think is next for you as far as, related to, love, kindness, and consciousness? Where do you think, your work can help contribute?
One of the things I've found with love is that difference between the conscious and the unconscious. And consciously, we're thinking, I want to find more love. I want to create more love. But I found what's happening with a lot of people is unconsciously, it is, I'm trying to avoid heartbreak. I'm trying to avoid, any kind of hurt. And so while you're saying, where is the love coming from? Because that avoidance is there, you're not finding it. And when you figure that out and flip it, all of a sudden more and more love shows up. And that's what I want to help people discover, is stop the resistance and just go into the pull of the love and all the scenarios that come with that.
Great. Thank you, Shiraz. David, any questions you want to ask Danella or Kim?
Well, since we're here on Shiraz here, I really do like the bio, reality interventionist.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes we get a little too clever and people have to think about it, but man, that hit me good when I'm like, yeah, rewrite those stories that we're addicted to. You being any good coach, any good counselor, any good, I don't care, psychologist, therapist, whatever. Essentially, that's what you're doing, right? You're being a reality. And yeah, I love that title. So very, very smart. It just makes me want to talk to you more. And more than a few people have said, I need a little bit more reality in my life. So maybe I'm
I'll have to reach out to you there, Shiraz. But I love the branding. Very good.
Thank you so much.
I was going to ask you, Ken and Maurice, talking about, and there's a panel around tough love. Well, what's your thoughts regarding giving people, kind of that tough love? Because sometimes, as David's pointing out, we need to say it as it is with love. I've always had people, I've had this before, it's happened to me. I shared this story. It was someone who did events and they invited me in and they were asking for my opinion. And I knew they wanted my opinion, but I said to her before she actually asked me, I said, do you want my honest opinion? Now, obviously that got her attention. And I did say next, I said, because anything and everything I'm going to say from a place of love. Okay. So I meant everything and I meant it from a place of love. What's your thoughts regarding tough love and giving people what they need to hear? Because we know what they need to hear. They might not want to hear it, but it's something that's worth hearing.
Well, I think it's funny that you just said, asking permission, really, and I think honestly, look, relationships are a factor in every single aspect of our lives, period. And there are some times when it's important to really be extremely grounded in the honesty and the integrity of what's happening. And so we get to really, one, ask someone permission, but two, we get to also, from a place of integrity and authenticity, say, look, here's my experience, here's what I'm seeing. And I'm doing this from a place that is really to support your growth, to support your development, especially when it's in the workplace, and same goes for in your personal life. Same strategies across the board. Can I share something with you? I want to share something with you that I think is important for your development. And that's always an approach we take with each other, frankly, and also with our clients. And it works across the board, whether or not you're in the business space or the professional or the personal space.
One other thing I would add to that, Maris, is that just changing one word in your vocabulary could really enhance how you see love and how love feels to you. And that is changing it. Are you in love? Are you in love to something? And it doesn't have to be another person. It could be money. It could be your work. Are you in relationship to that object or your relationship with? So just thinking about shifting from to with on every relationship, and certainly love, is a powerful tool.
And can shift the approach, right? As to your point, when it's tough love. If you're in a relationship with someone and you're giving tough love, then we can say, you know what? Here's my experience. And it comes in a different way because there's an exchange, right? Yeah. When you're in a relationship to it, it's me just talking at him or at someone else. And then there's no relationship back that we can find the value in.
I love that. Thank you so much. David, have you got a question for Danella?
Yeah, I want to kind of make a statement too to kind of play off what's been said, and then I'm kind of curious what Danella might want to add on to this. But because we are in the advice business, all of us here, we're in the business of helping people and giving people advice. One of the things that I've found is it's good sometimes to tell people where we're coming from. Like, let me put on the friend hat. As your friend, let me tell you this, right? As your business coach, as your publicist, as your publisher, sometimes it's good to let people know where the advice is coming from. And I think Danella is really good at this as well. But sometimes we have to wear different hats, and to help frame where we're coming from to kind of start the conversation can be really good. Sometimes we're even in a family situation, hey, as your brother, right? Hey, as your husband, as your wife, let me tell you this, as your husband, I love this. As a business partner, but Danella, I wanted you to kind of add on to that or kind of speak to that, because I think that's something you're really good at. What would you take with that, or how would you give an example of that?
I think this is great, and I loved the example that that Ken and Maris just gave. That in relationship with, I work with speakers and I work with experts, and they're getting on stages to share their value and their experience and to help transform lives. And if that context isn't there, if it's just sharing, but the audience isn't ready to receive it, then there's going to be a disconnect. So sometimes I do have to pop a few bubbles, to kind of get a speaker in that right place so that they're welcoming an audience in so that they can then share. Because if it just starts with, I want to share to you, and not with you and not engaging in that conversation, the best information can fall on deaf ears. And, that breaks my heart, because what I do with speakers and with event hosts is creating that platform so that they can be experts and transformation happens and people's lives get better. People make more money. They lose weight. Like whatever's on the other side of that good has to have a context where it comes together. Otherwise, all that good just kind of falls on deaf ears. So I definitely agree. There's some times where, in 2020, we had many speakers I always have speakers who come to me and they're like, I have a story of overcoming. I have a story, of my experience. And I'm like, that's great. But I can honestly say, since 2020, there's not a soul on the planet who doesn't have a story of overcoming. We've all overcome some stuff.
Yeah. Overcome that.
Yeah, overcome that. But how does that help someone? Do you have a method for how you overcame? Do you have, some transformation that you can share? How is that going to help the next person? Like, we can be glad for you, but how does that relate to the audience? How does that relate to the next person? So yeah, sometimes we do have to make sure that context is there so that it can be received.
I love that, Danella. I love that. That is so true. And one of the things I will point out, ladies and gentlemen, speakers don't have any egos. So luckily, we're all good anyway. One of the things I always say because we're dealing, all of us, aren't we, with a lot of people in the personal professional world. And sometimes, you listen to them and think, oh my God, are you this expert in happiness or this expert in becoming confident or whatever it is? Because the first thing that comes to my mind is you should read your own book, and because it's true. I mean, read your own book. I mean, come on. And that's the thing that I think within this world of personal professional growth, the first ones that have to be congruent, the first ones that have to start sharing love, becoming kinder, putting the right messages out there are us. And we have to walk the talk. So ladies and gentlemen, for anyone, and I know no one's taking offense here, but maybe we need to read our own books sometimes and remember the things that we preach. So I wanted to thank you all. I thought this was very interesting, actually, very exciting. We could have done a panel on this, egos and overcoming. David, let's write this one down for the next time. Overcome your overcomement. Yeah, come on. Okay, well, listen, thank you so much. We've got, we're playing a quick video, a quick message, and then we got David. David's speaking in a couple of minutes. So thank you so much, Ken. Thank you so much, Danella. Thank you so much, Shiraz. I'll see you.
Have a great day too.
Great day.
Lots of love to you all. Thank you. Okay, we're going to be back. We're just going to play a quick message, and then we're going to have David back, who's going to be speaking. Looking forward. David's a phenomenal speaker. I met David through quite a few friends who recommended him, but it was only I think at a City Gala event I eventually met him, and I saw him speak for the first time, and I think he's amazing. So we'll be back in a few minutes. You're going to thoroughly enjoy his talk.
The Best You is leading the way in the industry of personal and professional growth. Through our magazine, expos, e-learning, TV, club, and awards, The Best You's objective is to help people achieve their dreams, to do more, to be more, to live a life without limits. Join us if you believe in helping and inspiring others, in changing the world, in making it a more just and fair place through education and inspiration. Our goal, everyone, everywhere, now. If you are interested in making a difference, working, partnering, volunteering, supporting, or even licensing The Best You, let's talk. Let's work together and make the world a better place.
What is life? Your life isn't just about what you're doing now. Your life is the sum of every hope you ever had and everything you ever wanted to be. Life is about the situations you deal with, how you get to where you want to be, and how you become who you want to be. Life is a collection of moments and memories. Life is about being alive, feeling alive. Life is about dealing with whatever fate throws at you. Life is about staying on top when things are challenging. Life is about enjoying yourself, about finding yourself, about leaving a legacy. Life is about looking and feeling good, about staying ahead. It's about being the best you. What you want, what we all want, is a life without limits. So why don't you be the best you?
Welcome back. I'm going to bring David in a minute. David is many things. He's done a lot of things in his life, but I mean, a very summarized bio of his. He's a former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing, which sold over 23 million books in 62 languages all over the world, as well as a former owner of LCO Communications, a Beverly Hills PR firm that has represented 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy winners, and 43 New York Times bestsellers. He has been featured on Fox News, on Fox and Friends. He's to the Today Show, the Washington Post, Forbes, Investors, Business Daily, Your World, with Neil Cavuto, Fox, The Five, and What's Happening Now, just to name a few. David is obviously, apart from that, he's a publisher, he's a copywriter, he's a media expert, and he runs some amazing events like the JV Mastermind. So, David, thank you so much again for being here today.
Yeah.
I'm excited to listen to your talk. And I believe the title of your talk is Becoming Significant, How to Invoke Sacred Words that Unlock the Real Power.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And sure, probably most people engage me through our business, where we do a lot of publishing and publicity and production, talking a lot about, promotion, maybe marketing. But like a lot of us, I really have a passion for how we improve, how we develop. And, I can teach people about how to get on TV, and I can teach people about, how to write an award-winning book and all that kind of good stuff. And we've got some amazing clients that we've helped. But really, a lot of what I could help people with most and what we could learn the most from anybody successful is what's their decision-making matrix? Every decision we've ever made has brought us to where we are right now, right? So we really just want to become amazing decision makers. The late Steve Jobs, all the way to Oprah Winfrey, these are people who maybe have a few setbacks here and there, but they are overwhelmingly successful, right? And not just in one industry, not just in one economy, not just in one decade, right? Well, it's not luck, right? It's not luck. So what is it about that? What is it that they're seeing? What is it that they're doing? So that's what I want to get into more today, Bernardo.
Well, thank you so much, David. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I've got a book me and my wife, Isabel, wrote called Becoming Significant. I don't know if we got the subtitle right, but I chose that to be a little bit attention getting, like we always do with subtitles, and maybe even a little bit controversial. And it turned out to be a little more controversial than I thought. And a lot of you here that are at the Love event probably aren't going to find it very controversial at all. But sacred words that invoke real power, that kind of it does some things to some people. But you're seeing the QR code. That is actually how to get this book for free. It's a digital flip book. It just flips right on the pages, but instant access. There's no opt-in. There's no login. There's no password. There's no give me your information, right? It's just straight up hit that QR code and you're going to be into this digitally. But this is what I'm going to share with you today. Because I think more than a lot of things, wealth, success, there's a lot of us here, we want to have a life of significance. We want to know we made a difference, right? Don't you want something fulfilling? Don't you want something meaningful? If you said yes to any one of those things, then this is really a good book for you. And I find that a lot of the well-known celebrities I've worked with and professional athletes I've worked with, and just, the people who have accomplished maybe what the world would consider big accomplishments in terms of awards and accolades. Really what they want more than any of that is significance. They want to be remembered. They want that legacy. They want to make a difference. And so if you're crazy enough to think that that's you, that you could do that, well, this is for you. And I want to kind of start with this fundamental truth. And it's so simple, it might escape you. So write this down, really, truly, write this down. My words have weight. My words have weight. Anything worth saying is worth saying right. Anything worth saying is worth saying right. So a big part of what I do with people is try to understand, well, what is it you're really trying to say? Okay, great. I got that now. What's the best way to say that, right? What's the emotional trigger we want to convey? What's the feeling phrase, the phrase that really helps somebody feel something? If you're trying to create a movement, if you've got a message for the world, you've got to inspire action, right? You want to inspire action in every individual. You want to inspire action in every audience. That's what good writing does. That's what good speaking does. When every line makes you want to read the next line, that's when you know you're a good writer, a good copywriter, a good article writer, a good book writer, okay? Is when every line makes you want to read the next line. So part of it is just figuring out, what do I really want to say? And now how do I say it well? Because, words have weight, right? And anything worth saying is worth saying right. So to kind of go a little bit deeper into this, I want to give you an exercise that I use with people that I work with. And honestly, I even use this exercise with my own children. And depending on, the age or where they're at in life, they might take it a little bit more or a little bit less serious. But it is an exercise that kind of has, and I'm going to show this to you here. This is one of the pages inside here. You'll notice that inside this book, it's a little bit different than the average book. We lay it out to be very easy to read, very skimmable, kind of comes from our publishing background. But the exercise is answering the question, why do I succeed? So you're sitting down, you're at a computer. I prefer pen and paper. That's just me. But you're going to answer the question, why do I succeed? Write down the questions. Why do you succeed? Why are you having success? Even more specifically in this exercise, I want you to start each phrase with, I succeed because fill in the blank. I succeed because fill in the blank. I succeed because fill in the blank. That is really your creed. Now, again, we're talking about significance. We're talking about words having weight. There are certain types of ways to frame things inside of our mind that will have more meaning, that will be more fulfilling. Do you have a creed? Do you have a code you live by? Do you understand the feeling of that? To say, I believe something, or to say, this is my creed. Do you feel the power in saying, this is my creed, right? The warrior has a creed, right? The author, the writer, fill it in, has a creed. What's your creed? What's your code? And in this exercise, to kind of help find that, we're saying, why do I succeed? We're answering that question, why do I succeed? And to answer the question, we're doing, I succeed because. I'm writing down, I succeed because, fill in the blank. I succeed because. Now, here's my answer to that. Here's my answer. Here's what I wrote. I'm going to read it out of the book purposefully, okay? Why do I succeed? I succeed because I'm willing to do the things that others are not. I will fight against the odds and I will sacrifice. After all, I have learned to love people underestimating me. I succeed because I'm not shackled by fear, insecurity, or doubt. Yes, I feel these emotions too, but then I stare them down, I drink them in, and then I swallow them away to the blackness of oblivion. I succeed because I have an unwavering conviction that my life has meaning and that I am a force to be reckoned with. I practice and prepare to meet my opportunities with fierce execution, If I fail, I will get up. If I am beaten, I will return. I will never stop getting better. Never. This is why I succeed. That's my creed. There's power in that for me. It may not have as much power for you. It's not for you. It's for me. That's my creed, right? I can say that. Now, I know we all know the power of affirmations. Some might consider this nothing more than but a series of my most favorite affirmations. I am a force to be reckoned with, right? That's a fun affirmation. You know, looking at yourself in the mirror, you know, starting off the day, hey, I'm a force to be reckoned with, right? So this is just one of the exercises that I'm talking about in becoming significant, how to invoke sacred works that unlock real power. Would I find real power if I had that kind of creed? Would I find real power if I shared that kind of thing? I hope the answer for you is yes. I'm going to share a few other things in the book. 3 keys to significance. And again, you guys have this book. We're putting up the QR code from time to time here, but you can go in here and you can see all the things that I'm sharing. The best practices of the significant, you know, lots of images and imagery. If you're writing a book, do not overlook the visual aids, the different ways to add things in here. Part of becoming significant is to become what I would call an experience junkie, a moment millionaire. I'm rich in moments. I'm rich in experiences, right? You know, I value the experience. I think my father meant well teaching me about money when I was growing up. And again, I think he meant well, but one of the things that I took out of context that became a story that didn't always serve me very well was because when I was young, I would take money and buy candy. And so my father would tell me, he would say, David, you know, you got to have something to show for it, right? Like you eat the candy, it's gone, right? It's unhealthy, and you eat the candy, it's gone. You don't have anything to show for your money. So I started to think more about the value of things in terms of what I could show, right? What I physically had. Nothing entirely wrong with that. And again, you can all see how that meant well. But I learned that some of the most valuable things isn't anything that I can show, but it's a memory that I've had. It's an experience I've had. You know, I recently was in Thailand. In the summer, you know, we traveled to Ireland and Italy and France. I don't have much to show for that, except for the experience, a priceless experience, right? So how do you value experiences? You know, are you becoming a moment millionaire, right? Are you an experience junkie? Are you looking for the next experience because that's an important part of life? And, you know, what are maybe some of the limiting beliefs that we have that are kind of holding you back from having that life of significance? Okay. So I'm going to share just a couple other things with you in terms of becoming significant and sacred words that invoke real power. One of the things that I find myself saying to people is two prayers. Okay. And I don't mean this as a religious thing. I mean this in terms of there are words that really unlock and invoke some very serious and powerful forces. One of them is the serenity prayer. Who here knows the serenity prayer? So much of what we deal with in life really isn't ours to deal with. The prayer of serenity, or the serenity prayer. I've got the prayer of serenity here. I also have the Buddhist prayer. But the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? So many times this is the advice we need. You want to have a life of significance. Hey, can I change this? Is this for me? But those are powerful words. You know, they invoke real power. Equally, I love the Buddhist prayer. Maybe you're not familiar with the Buddhist prayer. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free. May my friends be happy. May my friends be peaceful. May my friends be free. May my enemies be happy. Whoa. May my enemies be happy. May my enemies be peaceful. May my enemies be free. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. That's the Buddhist prayer. Look, prayers, affirmations, writing your creed, taking things that are somewhat average and making them meaningful, naming something, framing something. I literally mean framing, like put it in a picture frame. Okay. Like literally take it out, put it in a picture frame and hang it. That's how you make something significant. That's how you make something more meaningful than the average. There's a lot of clutter out there. There's a lot of ideas out there, especially us entrepreneurs, us dreamers that maybe need to be more doers. We've got a lot of things floating around. How do we take the things that are floating around and make them more meaningful, make them more fulfilling? Here at this event, I think that's a lot of what we're doing, right? We talk of love, we talk of peace, we talk of kindness. But what Bernardo's done here is given us a platform where we're dedicating time, money, energy. The things that we choose to spend our time on is what we make sacred in a sense. Okay, not secret, sacred. And we make these things sacred by saying, out of all the things I could do today, I'm going to do this. Out of all the things that I could write down, I'm going to write this down. Out of all the things I could frame, I'm going to frame this. Out of all the things, you get where I'm going with this. But the point is we want to separate those things out. So right now, for you, what's your creed going to be? Why are you successful? People would write down things like their vision and their mission and their purpose. Sometimes people would go out and create a mission statement. All of these things have their place in this world. But the whole reason why we do those things is because we want them to be remembered. And remembering is the first part of taking action. You can't take action on anything you don't remember. If you're trying to inspire people to take action, if they don't remember, right, what it is you're talking about, they can never take action on it. So a big part of you being a speaker, a big part of you being an author, the big part of you being a movement maker, right? A big part of you being a difference maker, a change agent in the world has to be being memorable. It has to be inspiring action. So you want to become a student of these kinds of things, right? How did that person do that, right? How did Gandhi do what he did? How did Martin Luther King do what he did? Some people now are looking at not just the life of Princess Diana, but all the way to the life of Queen Elizabeth. How did she do what she did, right? We want to become students of people who are changing the world and changing it for the better. How is Sajady doing what he's doing? I want to learn from that. How is Bernardo Moya doing what he's doing? I want to learn from that. Look at what Dame Doria Cordova has done. How did she do that? Right? No, really specifically, the friends, the connections, how she speaks, how is she doing that? But all of these things are the keys to living a life of significance. And living a life of significance is what becomes a life of legacy. A lot of people say, well, David, how do I live a life? How do I leave a legacy? Live a life of significance. Do something significant, right? Well, what does that look like? It looks like something that's meaningful. How do you give meaning to your life? How do you give meaning to someone else's life? How do you fulfill something? Fulfill it is to complete it, right? Dreaming is good, doing is better. That's probably my most celebrated quote. That's probably the thing that's been shared more in the news and media that I've said than anything else. And it's a little bit controversial because I'll kind of make fun of the dreamers. And I do it strategically. I do it as an attention getter. Nothing wrong with dreaming, right? But I'll take a doer over a dreamer any day, right? That's why I say dreaming is good, doing is better. Be an action taker. You want to look at the most successful people that are participating in this event right now. I would love to say it's because of me. I would love to say it's because they have the best coach. But honestly, they take massive amounts of action. I first started working with Allison Maya Rose Rogers now. I first started working with her back in 2015. And I would love to talk about helping her write a book, helping her have her own cable TV show, all these things. But here's what her real key to success. She just takes massive amounts of action. And I can point to just about any successful individual in here that I know that's been a part of this event. They're just taking action day in and day out, failing forward. And I know we hear it and we hear it again and again and again. But if you want that help, if you want that advice, go to davidtfagan.com, schedule some time for us to talk, and we'll get there. We'll talk about where you're at now and where you want to go, and we'll see if I can help. And if I can't help, I'll connect you with who can help you. And it might be some of the people that I've talked about today. It might be talking about Sajady. It might be talking about Jim Poole of Newcom. It might be Bernardo Moya, right? Sometimes we are only as good as our connections. Sometimes we are only as effective as our friends. Sometimes we are only as effective as our friends, right? This life that we're living, these things we want to accomplish, if you can do it by yourself, it's just not big enough. There's nothing wrong with doing things on your own. But if you're really dreaming big and now you want to be doing big, you want to be that massive action taker, right? If that's what you want to accomplish, it's going to take more than yourself. So you've got to be building that movement. You've got to be creating that following. You've got to be the leader you would follow. Are you the leader you would follow? Would you follow someone like you? If not, that's what you need to become. And I want this book to be my gift to you. Me and my wife, Isabel, this was our passion project in 2020 when the whole world shut down and the gyms and everything else. And me and her are out jogging and running around and taking long walks together. This is what we talked about. We talked about, what it means to be significant. And we started putting things together and writing together. And it was a project and book that we did together. And it's our gift to you. And it's not our business sense. You can see, our publishing at work here, but really this is our heart. This is our love. This is the legacy we want to live. This is how we want to give you more meaning. This is how we want to give you more significance. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being a part of the Love event. And Bernardo, thank you for giving us this platform to share.
Great. Thank you, David. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I love your book. It's such a great book. Such a great book. And I remember you shared it with me kind of when you were just finishing it, and I felt very honored. And it's an art of work. It's just art. Everything, kind of, you can really see that what you're doing when it comes down to publishing and putting a great book together. So thank you so much. Congratulations to you and Isabel with that great book. And thank you for that great, inspiring talk. That was amazing. Thank you. Okay, well, we're going to continue. We're going to be just showing a very quick message. And then we got this great couple, Ken Ashby and Marisa Peer, joining us very, very briefly. And yes, we've got an amazing day organized for you. So please make sure you carry on adding those comments, putting notes in there. We need to feel the love, and we need you to share the love. So we'll be back in a minute.
Future medicine will be the medicine of frequency. Well, the future is here. The future is now.
It's one of the best opportunities in history to awaken and reclaim who you really are.
Hi, I'm Sajady, and I help you manifest abundance and reach your full potential through what I call exponential intelligence. So hundreds of thousands have used exponential intelligence to live the life they deserve by ridding themselves of old patterns, blocks, and distortions faster than anything that's out there. XI leads the consciousness evolution by helping you transform yourself, your loved ones, your world.
The Best You EXPO has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, authors and leaders with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Larry Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Moan, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo is coming back in LA in March 2023. Bigger, older. The Best You Expo will also be streamed on the Best You TV. This event is for anyone and everyone that wants to connect, reach, inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
Here we are. I'm going to bring my next guests in, Ken Ashby and Marisa Segal. But before I do, I am going to do a very quick intro. They joined us this morning for a quick chat about how they were finding the event so far. But Ken Ashby and Marisa Segal are America's Masters Connectors. They're a collaborate coach, and they consult with executives, entrepreneurs, celebrities, and rising leaders to identify and bring their professional, personal, and philanthropic vision to life. They combine their relationship marketing and mindset expertise with the power of head and heart leadership to build meaningful connections and impactful strategies that drive their clients' success. So let me bring them in. Here are the beautiful couple. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're great. How are you after an amazing first day?
Yes, it's kind of one of those things. There's a big build up to an event always, isn't there? And you put your heart and soul into it. You work your socks off, and then the day before you say que será, será. So that's it. What will be will be. And but kind of we've all done as best as we can to bring as many people for all of us to share these really important conversations. So no, very proud, very excited, very grateful for all the amazing people that contributed yesterday, and people like yourselves that are, sharing their love and expertise today. So I'm going to give you your time. I believe it's becoming the title of your talk is the 4 Gs of Connected Relationships. That's correct. Okay, great. Well, the floor is yours. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Got it. Great. Well, good morning. Good morning. We are thrilled to start day with you, and that you've chosen to start your day with us today, because part of what we're going to share today is actually a practice that we do in the morning and in the evening to really ensure connected relationships, first with ourselves and then with the world. So I don't know you guys, but certainly for us, we recognize that relationships are a factor in every aspect of our lives, whether or not it's in your work life, your personal life, your relationship with the community. It is all about relationships and connection, right? And so the importance of being in relationship with someone versus being in relationship to someone is about creating an exchange, is about creating a connection that actually has meaning. And looking at that from the standpoint of your business and your personal life, it runs all across the same. We look at that, we say, great, how does our day look like? And we have the opportunity every day to create a rhythm that is really a rhythm that works for us every day, because our lives really are about this rhythmic, the 4 Gs, to really tune in, to use it as a practice, to know that we can set the tone for our day throughout the day, whether it be at work and at home, and to know that relationships are a factor in every aspect of our lives, and there are things we can do as we choose every day. Now, Ken and I, good morning, by the way. Good morning. Ken and I are, we talk about America's Master Connectors. We are also business partners, lovers, playmates, all of those things. And people constantly say to us, wow, how does that work? How does that work? And how it works is we create this beautiful connection between us. And in doing that, it really is about the start of how we kick off our day, how we navigate with each other all day long. So Ken, maybe you want to take us that up and share with everybody.
Absolutely. So we want to focus a little bit on your relationship with your morning. So go with this for a second and think about how your morning starts. So the alarm clock, maybe you have an alarm clock that goes off, or that's a rude awakening, or maybe it's a dog or a cat that's jumping up onto your bed, or maybe kids. All of those things you are working with in the morning, and you are in relationship with those things in the morning. So before we jump into a little technique here, a little practice, let me just ask you to think about your morning, and think about your morning. Do you start your morning when the alarm goes off? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel frustrated? Is there a list going off in your head? Or do you wake up your morning and you feel peaceful and calm? So just for an example, for everybody who's watching, and we want to really thank you for being here with us today, investing your time. We don't take it for granted. It's really important. So think about your morning. Think about how you wake up in the morning. And on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your morning. With 10 being you wake up excited, engaged, inspired for your day. And 1, you wake up with some fear or some doubt or some dread or anxiousness about your day. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds. Scale of 1 to 10, write down what your relationship is with your morning. Is it 1 or is it 10?
And in doing that, you may also want to think about today actually is a day off, right? For many people. So if today's a day off, maybe you're waking up with a different kind of an energy on your scale from 1 to 10 than if you would be waking up on a weekday that might be a different kind of a work day. So look at both of those and just go ahead and put down 1 to 10 and really be honest with yourself. Maybe you're a 3, maybe you're a 5, whatever that is, there's no right or wrong answer. So go ahead and put that in and get a feel for that.
Cool. So thank you all for being honest with yourself about how you wake up in the morning. Is it a 1 or a 10? Or
how'd you wake up this morning?
I woke up with an 8.
Well, of course, that's in part because he woke up next to me, but of course.
I woke up with an 8 because I was ready today, looking forward to being with you all today. So I woke up with an 8. So what we're going to share really quickly with you is a little practice on how to maybe shift the relationship you are in the morning from 1 to 10. So would you want to make your 3s, turns them into 6s? You want to turn your 6s into 8s? You want to turn your 8s into 12s, whatever it may be.
Okay, I'm competitive. I want to be a 10 all the time.
Oh, I know
so
that.
For me, it's definitely going to be a 10.
So there's 3 things. There are 4 things actually. You say good morning. You have gratitude. You ground yourself in some way, and you think about generosity. Those are the 4 G's.
Great. So I'll pick up from here while Ken grabs some water. So good morning. Really important. Gratitude, grounding, generosity. And actually this book ends our day. So we do this in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. So good morning. If you're a couple, you literally wake up out of bed and you turn to the person next to you and you say, good morning. And you say good morning because I've woken up today. So that's what makes it a good day. Just acknowledging the day is really important because guess what? We get to reset the clock on our lives every day. We get to start anew.
What if you're alone? What if you're alone?
And if you're alone, then you say good morning to yourself. You immediately step out of bed. You go into the restroom or you do it next to your bed before picking up your phone. And you say to yourself, good morning in the mirror. It's also a great thing to bring to your teams at work. So we very often with our clients, we've shared this practice in team building exercises at work as well, because when we say good morning, we're creating this grounded connection with everybody right away. And we're acknowledging that it's a new day, a clean slate. We get to bring new energy to the day. And just by saying good morning and acknowledging it, it starts to set a rhythm tone in our day. Because again, let's be realistic. When you've got that alarm clock going off in the morning immediately. You might have the kids jumping on the bed, as Ken said. You might have a deal that's due that day. Just take a minute, good morning, and take a deep breath and allow that space to come into yourself so that you can feel what that energy is around good morning. When you get to the office, good morning to the people around you. If you're taking public transportation, good morning to the people around you. Remember, we are all connected. And how do you feel when somebody says good morning to you? Do you feel acknowledged? Do you feel like you have a voice? Right? So it gives us this different kind of a connected space. Good morning. It's very simple. And this practice that we're going through at night, at the end of the day, we end with good night and we acknowledge the day. So again, good morning is the first one in our 4 G's.
The second of our 4 G's is gratitude. Wow, this is an amazing thing, that just to take a moment in the morning, whatever it is, and maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 2 minutes, whatever it is in your morning and your evening, just to take a moment to say what you are thankful for, something that brings gratitude to your life. You know, I'm grateful in the morning Maris makes breakfast for me. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I get to do the dishes. I'm grateful for the fact that today is a brand new day. And do you know that our bodies make 330 billion new cells every day?
That's crazy.
So
that really does speak to renewal, right?
That speaks to renewal.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm grateful for. So gratitude is a beautiful way to start and end your day.
So I just wanted to kind of build on something you were just talking about, gratitude. So we actually, and we did this practice this morning. So we're letting you in on a practice that we do together, both professionally and personally, and that we really share with our clients and families that we do work with in our retreats and our workshops. The other thing around gratitude that's really important is take 3 gratitudes in that day. So for instance, a great example is yesterday. We were on a huge deadline yesterday preparing for something. We're writing our book. We're working on chapters. I'm not going to lie, I was feeling some pressure. I might have been a little short with Ken. And so yesterday morning when I woke up, I said, you know what? I'm grateful for the day that I get to face in completing these chapters. And it put me in this space of I am and I can do it. So the other thing that I use every morning in my gratitude is I am enough. And when I'm by myself and Ken and I are not together to do this together, I do this in front of the mirror. And this is what you get to do in front of the mirror. Good morning, gratitude, 3 things we're grateful for in that day. Something that's facing us in our day might be a challenge, something we're doing with our kids that day, something we get to acknowledge ourselves and our surroundings. And again, bring that to work. Bring that to work. Ask your teams, what are you grateful for today? We don't start one meeting without an acknowledgement of what are you grateful for today? And then at night, at the end of the day, when we go into our 4 G's in the evening, what we do is we say, what are we grateful for that took place today? Here's what I accomplished. Here's a relationship I connected with someone. I told someone else how grateful I was for their work. All of those things. And we know that gratitude actually, the dopamine, right? You were talking about this. Talk about that for a second.
No,
dopamine and just
obviously
the
when you express gratitude, it puts dopamine in your system. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but it does that dopamine, that energy, that beautiful juice comes into you when you express your gratitude.
Yeah.
So those are the first 2, good morning and gratitude. Now let's go to the third one.
To grounding. So look, grounding is one of those things that is really important. It's about coming home, right? This all really starts with us. In order for us to be for other people, we get to be for ourselves, in love with ourselves first. Good morning to ourselves first, gratitude to ourselves first, grounding to ourselves first. So grounding really is a connectedness and allowing of a space that is quiet. For us in the morning, we do a meditation. For some people, it might be prayers. It might be music. There are no have-tos in this process. The reason we're giving this to you is because we know it works. We've been doing this for many years.
I like starting the morning with a song.
With a little bit of music. And Ken's music in the morning for us is really grounding, and it's powerful. So grounding, take a minute. And so right now I'm going to ask you all just to sit in your space for a second, put your feet on the floor, just tune in, put your hands over your heart, and just feel the drum beat and the rhythm that we create in our lives and that you're bringing to your day. and allow this space just to overcome you and feel that energy from your heartbeat. And know that you're exactly where you are when we're meant to be today. And that is what the opportunity is. So grounding, we also do at night. Again, at night, we ground with the day. We go into our gratitudes. We take a minute. And if this is something that you're not doing with a partner, a spouse, a friend, we do it very often in groups on calls. You do it in front of the mirror and you do it on your own. It's beautiful. How about generosity, Ken? The fourth of the big G's.
The fourth one. So we've had good morning, we've had gratitude, we've had grounding. The fourth one is generosity. Just taking a moment in the morning and the evening, as you start your day and as you finish your day, thinking about how can I be generous today? What could I do today to bring generosity and to bring love and caring into the world? So, I mean, it could be something as simple as just saying thank you, about being really generous with your thank yous throughout the day. So maybe it's thank you to Maris for making breakfast. Maybe it's thank you to the bus driver. Maybe it's thank you to someone who's cleaning the hall. But all of those pieces are generosity.
I think too, building on that, I think generosity also is really about generous listening. Right? So if we're in a situation with our family, if we're in a situation at work, how can we bring generosity to that during the day? And very often, look, we work together 24/7 and live together 24/7. There's going to be tense moments, right? But in those moments of generosity, one of the greatest gifts we can bring to each other is the generosity of listening. And of really connected listening so that we're hearing and the other person feels valued. Generosity of sharing thoughts and feedback. And all of that really matters. So at the end of the night, when you're going to your generosity, you can say, I am sharing the generosity from my day. So that puts another bookend on the end of the whole experience. Really important. So we've shared with you good morning, gratitude, grounding, and generosity. Can you start to see how that's going to be able to show up for your day? Think now of how you get to start your day with that, how that feels, right? Get a sense of that and know what's possible for yourself. And look, you can see the QR code that's up, so you can actually hop in and grab the gratitude, the 4G tips. We've got a piece for you on that. We also have free workshops we're happy to include you in. And we hope that you guys will take this practice. Pop us an email and let us know how it's going. We'd love to know. Or pop it, or tag us up on the R Factor on Instagram and let us know that you practice the 4 Gs. Let us know how that shows up for you. Right. Use it at work, use it at home, use it with your family, and really, really connect to it, to use it to bookend and to set your day up in the rhythm of your day in the beginning of the day and at the end of your day.
So I was just going to add, Maris, to that, is that you can also go to the4gs.com, the4gs.com, cool. number4gs.com. And when you go there, you can see also workshops we have, and you can see download the tips, as Maris was saying.
Great. You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering, Ken, if we get to end with the whole gratitude and share our gratitude street song with everybody. Sure. So if you guys, again, look, I'm married to a singer-songwriter, so creativity and music is a big part of what we do. And what we'd love to share with you is a song that really connects us in gratitude. So sit back where you are, let this be kind of a grounding experience for you, and just kind of be in it. We know we've got a number of we've got a few minutes left, and when we're done here, we'll kind of just put a wrap up on it. So go for it.
Exactly. And a wise Zen master said once that, the Zen you go to look for at the top of the mountain, it's actually the Zen you bring with you. So that's what we call bringing your own gratitude, BYOG. And this song is called Gratitude Street. Shuffling down the sidewalk, I'm not worried about the clock. The bodega's busy, the deli is packed. It's like a party on every block. I got a pocket full of feel good, watching a one-man band. Smiles, hellos, and open doors, and lovers holding hands. Down on the corner, somebody moving to the beat. I'm so glad to be walking on Gratitude Street, meeting and talking on Gratitude Street. Connections get better on Gratitude Street. New York, LA, London, VA. Oh, BYOG, bring your own gratitude. Yeah, just BYOG.
BYOG, bring your own gratitude.
I'm so glad to be walking on Gratitude Street, meeting and talking on Gratitude Street. Connections get better on Gratitude Street. Glad to be walking on Gratitude Street. Sing it with me. Glad to be walking on Gratitude Street. Glad to be walking on Gratitude Street. Glad to be walking on Gratitude Street.
So you get to bring your own gratitude on Gratitude Street. Let's just do a quick recap on where we are right now. So what we brought to you today were the 4 Gs. This is a practice you can do in the morning and in the evening. It starts your day. We get to set the rhythm and the tone of our day. And throughout the day, we get to go back to that point and call it back up, right? So we start with good morning. Good morning, good morning. Don't ever, ever start your day without it, because it is a good morning when we're awake, right? When we've come to a new day. And gratitude. So we go from good morning and gratitude. What are the 3 gratitudes you can use to talk about what's facing you in your day, to also talk about what you have accomplished from maybe the night before? Are you grateful for waking up? Are you grateful for being able to be in service? What does that look like to you? But use 3 of them for sure. And grounding. Be sure that you have an opportunity to ground yourself. Prayer, music, whatever it is. Deep breaths. Ground yourself in what you have coming up for the day to prepare. And during the day, you can always go back to that grounding moment easily and take a couple of deep breaths. Take deep cleansing breaths that allow you that space. Generosity. How can you be generous today? Generous listening, generous communicating, and it all starts with us. Remember, it all starts with us. And so what's most important in all of this is that these 4 Gs that can be used in the morning and at night start with us first, because in our work, we know that we are in relationship with people, with our work, with our family all day long, right? All day.
And so that's really what we're talking about, is shifting your relationship with your morning, shifting your relationship from being in relationship to your morning. It happens to you. You're not engaged with it, or being in relationship with your morning. And the 4 Gs are just a simple practice that you can try morning and evening. And I guarantee you, we guarantee you, we will say that?
Yeah.
We guarantee you that this small time can change your perspective and lead you towards a better and richer and fuller day. And you will be surprised how many times you see this coming back to you in the day. When you express your gratitude, you're going to see other people expressing gratitude. When you're grounded, you're going to make other people grounded. When you share your generosity, listening, words matter. All of this matters in the day. So shift your morning with these 4 Gs.
And at night, before you go to bed, also do them again at night, because that will bookend your entire day, and it really sets you up and puts you to bed in this amazing space, wrapped in the 4 Gs, wrapped in knowing that you've had a great day, even if it was challenging, wrapped in knowing that what you get to bring to the world is you. Good morning, gratitude, grounding, and generosity. Hi, Bernardo.
Hi, Bernardo, and thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are so lovely, you two. I love your 4 Gs. Ken, thank you for bringing some beautiful music, some great positive energy to you both. No, thank you so much. I remember we met through Greg Reed. You sent me a lovely message, Maris, and we've had this deep connection all the way along that we knew we wanted to work with each other. And I'm so excited, honored, and proud to have you here collaborating and sharing your love and wisdom.
Thank you. We feel
Thank
the
you.
same, and we look forward to continuing into the Best You Expo in the spring. Hopefully everybody will connect also there with us. And remember that connection is the gift that we bring to the world, and our relationships are those that we get to share every single day. Have a great day, Bernardo.
Thank you so much, Ken, and get that guitar ready, because I'm going to have you working at the Best You Expo. Okay. Thank you
Okay,
so
good.
much.
Okay.
Take care. All the best.
Bye-bye.
The Inspiring People interview series is a collection of exclusive interviews sure to inspire and motivate you. I'm Bernardo Moya, the founder and Chief Inspirational Officer of The Best You. And in this series of interviews, I'm in conversation with industry leaders, thought leaders, self-made millionaires, Olympians, and global sports personalities, the influencers of today's world. I find out about their start in life, their early days, their rise to success, and both the good and the bad times. We discuss their opinions on education, business, money, and just how to be happier. Join us to find out more about these fascinating and inspiring people.
My passion is to set people free by helping you transform any area of your life more effectively and faster than anything you've tried before. I do this by unique abilities gifted to me through 2 near-death experiences that allow me to help you change your frequency, changing your life. But there's hundreds of thousands of people that are already living this way. It's been a proven method, and now I'm going to share it with you. So I'll see you on the Moss Experience.
The Best You TV, available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play.
Are you a speaker? Are you an author? Are you an expert? Do you have a message for the world? Are you crazy enough to think that you could actually make a difference? Well, at Top Talent Agency, we're looking for you. We want to help you publish that book, get the publicity you deserve, and actually monetize the message that you have to help other people. If you feel like you need somebody working in your corner to publish you, to publicize you, to promote you, to market you, to book you on stage, to get you featured in the media, then we're what you're looking for, and we want to talk to you. Go to toptagency.com or reach out to us today, because you deserve someone to manage your talent.
We're back. Thank you so much. That was great. Marisa, Segal, and Ken Ashby, loved it. Okay, so we got a very, very exciting panel. Now, what I will say is we've got Caroline joining us on Zoom. So this is going to be an experiment we're going to taste. We're going to test in a minute, but let me do a very brief, quick introduction to Nate. I want to honor and say thank you to Nate Zelesnik, who is the president and co-founder of Vibrovision, which merges ancient energetic martial arts with modern science and training technology to offer the most advanced personal energy building and management system on the planet. Vibration is the next stage of personal evolution, over the past 20 plus years, he has mastered the unique energy arts of the royal family of Java and Indonesia. He, with his brother, he co-founded the only US school allowed to train these capabilities, and has received validation from medical and scientific professionals, and established Vibrovision as a foundation which teaches blind people to sense their surroundings energetically as they had eyesight. He is sought after speaker, trainer, and leader in the spiritual community. And apart from that, he's just a lovely soul, a lovely individual who's brought this phenomenal panel together. So Nate, here you are.
Good morning, everyone. How's my audio? Is it okay?
Your audio's great. Your audio's great. So
Excellent.
Nate, thank you so much for putting this amazing panel together. Now, I know we had a plan here where we were going to bring everyone on board, okay? We've got a couple of people obviously here. We've got Chad, we've got Satyan already here connected, but we also have Caroline who's connecting via Zoom. So we're going to test this, see how it works. Hopefully, it will all work. But bear with me. I'm gonna bring in, if that's okay with you, Caroline first to see if we can actually see her, and then I'll bring the rest of the guests. Is that okay?
Also, sure. And actually, Dr. Todd Ovakaitis, he's also on Zoom as well. So he doesn't.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So we have 2 people on Zoom and 3 people on StreamYard. So, but it's going to work great.
Well, it's going to work great. Okay. Well, let's just try in a minute. Just bear with me. Let me just bring in for now Satyan and Chad, and we'll try again in a minute just to bring in. So I'll let you do the introductions, and I'll bring Caroline in a minute.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, fantastic. Well, so first of all, we have an absolute rock star panel today. So everybody who's out there, first of all, Bernardo, thank you so much for creating this amazing event for all of us to come co-create and really change the world. Love is the most important thing that we have in our daily life. And so much of us, we go throughout our lives. Some of us, I didn't even know what it was until just a couple of years ago. And that's a really sad thing, but I'm really glad that I'm getting better with that now. And so I would like to introduce some amazing people to all of you. First of all, my name is Nate Zelesnik from Vibrovision. And with the panel that I have assembled today, everybody out there, please get out your phones, get ready for those QR codes, and to put these people's websites into your phone and into your PC or laptop, whatever you have. Because every single person here is a world changer, and go into their website and what they have to offer could literally change your life. So we want to be prepared for that because we're not going to be here for a long time. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to introduce all of these amazing panelists and then let them tell you about who they are, what they do, and how what they do can help you in your life through love. Because the title of this panel is Becoming Superhuman Through Love. And every single person on here has done literally superhuman or at least super normal things to help themselves as well as people around them. So I'll start off with myself. I and my brother Mike, we operate a company that helps people literally unlock superpowers. Now, maybe not teleportation, but every single person would love to have some kind of superpower, whether it's being like a Shaolin monk or having the ability like Daredevil to see without your eyes. We all have these things. That's why superhero movies are so popular. Well, we were featured on Caroline's amazing documentary called Superhuman, The Invisible Made Visible, which you can see on Gaia or on Amazon. And she's going to tell you all about her other projects as well as that one. But you could go see what Vibrovision is all about there, as well as on our website at vibrovision.com. And we also have a free gift for everybody. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and put each one of these panelists in front of you. So get those cameras ready. Okay. So the first person I'm going to introduce, I'm actually going to go a little bit out of order because she's on the screen already. I'm going to introduce Caroline Cory, the multiple award-winning documentarian, the creator of things like Superhuman, The Invisible Made Visible, as well as her new documentary, A Tear in the Sky, which if you haven't seen it, see it. She's also going to be joining us right after this panel. So stay tuned after our panel for her. So right now I'm going to turn the time over to the amazing Caroline Cory. Caroline, take it away. Is she there or is it just okay? Awesome. Oh, Caroline. Oh, okay. Bernardo, you're muted. I'm not able to hear you.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Beautiful. Yes, Caroline, we can hear you. Yeah. Since Caroline's overseas, that's why we're having a little tech disconnect here, just so the audience can know. But definitely hold on. It's going to be worth it. Okay, so let's see. With Caroline, I can see you and I can hear you, Caroline. Little choppy. That's the video.
Okay, you're on now, Nate.
Recording in progress.
We can hear you. You can carry on. Thank you so much.
Okay, you can hear me all right?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
You can carry on. Thank you so much.
All kinds of interesting.
Can you hear me all right?
Okay.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Recording in progress.
Okay. All right. So the way that this is working, just so you know, I have to have Zoom and StreamYard on at the same time to hear what Caroline's saying, just because of my system. So I'm not able to. I have my voice happening twice. So my apologies on that. So with Caroline, all right. So now we're going to move on to my next panelist. His name is Chad Allen, and he is the founder of the Chad Allen Method. He hails from Los Angeles. And oh my God, he's the founder of the Joyful of Heart worldwide community, a huge conglomerate of internal energy and coherence healers. I'm going to let him tell you about himself because Chad is just one of my favorite humans. And if there's somebody who knows about love and healing through love, this is your person. So Chad, take it away.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Nate, so much. I really appreciate that introduction. And I also wanted to open with gratitude. I loved the song before, Gratitude Street. A gratitude to you and to Bernardo and to the community for inviting me to join this discussion on becoming superhuman through love. I'd like to share a little bit about my background. My contribution to this morning's panel is really about experiencing love through community. And my background, I was raised in a very small town, one of those towns that everyone knew everyone. And as a child, I really felt connected, and I didn't understand it at the time. But now as an adult, I have really grown to appreciate that in my earliest sort of formation years, the experience of community was beginning right then. And I also grew up in a family where family get-togethers and events were a really big part of our experience. So also, as part of that small town experience, church was an important part of how we developed our social life and our community life. And though I was even at that early age, really sort of in love with the idea of the divine and God and spirituality, I've also come to understand that I really was connecting to my community at large through the church experience. And that was really a part of my heart opening my heart to others. So I was involved in everything the church would let me get involved in, if it was handbells or choir or any of the summer programs. And at face value, it seemed that I was really developing my relationship with God in that terminology. And what I've come to understand is that was really my experiencing God through the church, through the people that I was developing those relationships with. And that would continue on because I lived in that small town until I was 17 years old, into my schooling and into all of the events and programs that I would get involved in, whether it was student council and all of the other projects. And I remember being sort of challenged by my parents about why it was that I was always engaging in activity after activity after activity. And what I came to understand now was that it really was about me developing my love and appreciation for humanity and for others. And every group that I could get involved in was just another opportunity for me to deepen that love affair. Around the age of 11, I discovered dance. And it was also the first time that I discovered my own tribe. So dance would become my language I'm 50 years old. It's still part of my innate language. But it was the first time I had discovered a tribe of my own. And so, of course, I sort of jumped in completely and never wanted to leave, and haven't actually. And as my life as a dancer continued on, what I've come to understand also is at that time, which might not exactly be the case today, but part of being a dancer at the time that I was developing was really about being a part of, a member of, one of. Dance is about classes and about companies and about being in the core. And though there are times where individualism is appreciated and you have that principal role or that featured, but as the dancer myself, as the dancer within that experience, so much of it is about being embraced and about being received. I took my love of dance into teaching movement to others. So I became an instructor of movement. That evolved into my passion for better understanding about the physicality and the mind that informed that physicality. So I took my movement vocabulary into a mind-body sciences passion. And then that moved into a passion for beyond the mind-body construct into things like energy and healing. And that's been, just sort of part of, as I like to say, like my stream of passion became just branched out into tributaries and deltas all over. And I just continue to explore and explore and explore as many outlets for that as possible. And what I've come to understand is that each time I would pick up a new modality or a new approach, I was also at the same time doing what I had begun in the very early stages of my life, which was beginning to engage with a new community. And every time I would engage with that new community, something in me would begin to open. And that has become my driving force now. In 2020, a community that was coming to my facility in Los Angeles, the Chad Allen Method, every Saturday we would do a healing session and a meditation together. And in 2020, we moved that entirely to our online platform. And that's grown and grown and grown over the last 2 years to what is now the Joyful of Heart Worldwide community. It originally met under a different name, but a couple years ago, due to other circumstances, I had an opportunity to reimagine that community. And I embraced one of my earliest teachers, Thich Nhat Hanh, and I was given a Dharma name, Joyful of Heart. So I gave that name to the community. I shared that name with the community because Thich Nhat Hanh was the first person to really open me to the concept, this word interbeingness, which I think perfectly articulates what I was already in the exploration of by becoming self-aware through my experience of others. And where Thich Nhat Hanh taught interbeingness as that one thing that we see as being is really a representation of all of the parts, all of the interactions, all of the energies, all of the frequencies that have ever intersected with that thing is what we are beholding in that moment. So when I host Joyful of Heart Worldwide, though we may have 50 or 100 or 150 attendees in our gathering, I'm seeing and embracing the lives and the communities that have embraced them and formed them and brought them together. And for me, this is the greatest vehicle toward love that I have come to realize is that it is the experience of community that has opened me more than any of the individual pursuits I had done up until that point. I think you're muted, Nate.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that, Chad. And it's such an interesting history that you have. I mean, it's truly astounding, and where you're at now, helping literally thousands of people. And I am honored to be part of the Joyful of Heart Worldwide community. And thank you so much for having me and for sharing that with all of us. And we're going to have some wisdom from Chad come up in just a moment. So the next person that I would like to introduce, this is Satyen Raja. Now, Satyen is like the coach of coaches for the most elite executives in the world, but he does so on a heart-based and heartfelt level. I have his book, and it is like literally, I think, one of the most amazing pieces of artwork that I have. So if you have a chance to get Satyen's book and contact him, definitely do. But I'm going to turn the time over to Satyen to let him tell you what he does and what he's all about and how he's shaping the world. So Satyen, please take it away, sir.
Thank you, brothers, and thank you, Nate. Thank you, Bernardo, and all good friends gathered here. My background is I started out as a Shaolin young monk, and that really developed me into the dimensions of healing arts. I started when I was a young boy, and I've been at it now for about 45 years, involved in psycho-spiritual arts and the cultivation of being. And my main work in the world right now is I see that business and big business is one of the main reasons we're destroying our planet based on the old paradigms of how big business is. And so my main focus right now is really mentoring, advising, and investing in companies and their leadership and their CEOs who are here for the greater good, to do something really big on the planet. And my main work with them is to keep them and their companies into the highest alignment so that we can really create a world of actual beauty and a win-for-all environment. Now, having said that, coming from a martial art tradition, and this talk about how can we become a superhuman, one of the main practices we have in Kung Fu is self-inquiry. It's not looking at the world outside of us to change. What can we do to change? What can we do to shore up our truth, our capacity, our clarity, our true power, to be of highest use, to be of highest service to the Great Spirit? So, boiling it right down, I want to give you the essential question, the inquiry. So if you have a pen, paper, or listen to this again, kindly write this down. You might find
He's giving you some time to get a piece of paper and a pen.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. He'll be right back on. Yeah. So the technology is being fun for us today. It's amazing positive energy. The electrical grid and the system can't handle it. I think that's what's happening. So sometimes that does happen in meditation group.
It goes as it goes, Nate. Yesterday we had a dog barking in someone's house, and then we had a cat come in, and then someone delivered an Amazon. This is life, it's just anything and everything can happen. I'm going to bring Satyen back in, and I think we've got Dr. Todd also there, so we can bring him in when you're ready, and we'll connect him. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry.
All right, no problem. All right, so
So
there's
my sincere apology about that. The main question I wanted to ask of all of you is, and for all of us to write down, what must I do to live, love, and die completely without regret? What must I do to live, love, and die completely without regret? And that's my question of you, my dear friend. We're in this very powerful time on the planet. Each one of us, we're all going through a universal, a planetary shift in consciousness. And I'm sure each one of us is going through a planetary internal shift that feels huge in some way within us. This is a sign of the grand evolutionary force, the world's Kundalini, saying it's time for us individually, collectively to evolve. And as my previous friend said, it's time to create community, to come together, to foster the unity in real everyday connection. These online connections are beautiful and they're a start. But if there's people, your neighbors, your friends, people around you that you haven't met, go out, make a pie, invite people over for cards, invite them over for a meal, invite them over for a swim or a chat. What must you do to live, love, and die completely without regret? So if I were to ask that myself today, brand new, what must I do today to live, love, and die completely without regret? Well, one of them that came, first thing that came up for me is my parents are elderly. I saw my father's phone come in and interrupt this message today, this sharing that we have. And I went, okay, there must be something in his heart that's calling me very early morning to reach out. So after this share, I will go out and reach out. This is what I must do to live completely without regret. Karma is created, tension, self-regret, shame, embarrassment, feeling we're off path is when we do anything other than what we must do to live, love, and die completely without regret. I truly feel if we ask that of ourselves, what must I do today to live? What can I do to live today? I'm going to exercise a little. I'm going to walk along the shore here of this beautiful ocean I am in BC. That's what I must do to live completely today. Another day might be something totally different. And so to honestly ask yourself, what must I do today to live completely, to love completely? For me, my daughter is just recently engaged about a couple of weeks back, and she lives on the other side of the country in Toronto. I'm going to reach out to her and check out her fiance and her and say, hey, how are you guys doing with the wedding preparations? This is what I must do today as a father, to love completely. And what must I do today to die completely without regret? I don't know. I've had a few friends pass over the last couple of years. They went like this: you, I, all of us. Death is always there. Death is our ally, my friends. It's not something to be fearful of. It can be used as a motivation to draw us, to pull us into this sacred question: what must I do to live, love, and die completely today without regret? What I must do today to die completely without regret? It's what our previous friends earlier said about gratitude, our musical friends. I think I'm going to spend some time in meditation today and give gratitude to the Great Spirit, to all my friends, my colleagues, my teammates, all the sacred leaders that I am blessed to be able to serve in their path. So, my friends, from my heart to yours, in this beautiful time on this planet, to activate our fullness, what must we all individually and collectively do to live, to love, and to die completely with absolutely no regret? And then when we thrust ourselves into that life and we don't accept anything else, we will become the superhuman that we're meant to be for the sake of all beings. Bless you.
Wow. Oh, wow. Sachin, everybody out there, let's give Sachin a round of applause. Holy cow. What an amazing message. Sachin, brother, thank you so much for that wisdom. I also will be doing that. And there is no doubt that it was not an accident that your father called.
Yes.
No accident.
Bless
you. There you go. Thank you so much. And for my next guest, everybody, pay attention. You're about to have some wisdom unlike any you probably had before. This is my very good friend, Dr. Todd Ovakaitis, one of the leading stem cell and regenerative medicine doctors in the world, and the creator of an extremely special patented laser system that helps to unlock and open the pineal gland in a way that it has never been opened in human history, and so much more. I'm going to let Dr. Todd explain that to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Todd Ovakaitis.
younger than a person's chronological age. So with this new type of technology, we have developed an efficient way that we've published and patented to awaken these dormant cells. And then even more, once you give them back IV, they're small enough to go everywhere and literally rejuvenate and regenerate the body in every tissue from head to toe. The program goes even more than that, because this new type of laser also goes much deeper through tissue. And we have stumbled upon what I would call the song of the stem cells. We are literally singing the song of the stem cells in life. And once we give the cells in a process we call the laser guidance protocol, we increase the probability that these very powerful cells go exactly where we need them. So we get tremendous physiologic regenerative effects, often within the hour. In terms of biological age, we work with a diagnostic company that uses the most accurate biological aging clock that exists at the DNA level, with a long phrase which is epigenetic DNA methylation biological aging test. And the founder of the company actually called us because he was alarmed by the results. They didn't even believe them. They had to repeat them several times to make sure they weren't making a mistake. And what they found is that if someone had had one of our treatments in the past 5 years, they were 3 years younger biologically. With 2 treatments, they were 6 years younger. With 4 treatments, they were 12 years younger. This is the most biological age reversal that's ever been seen in recorded medical history. What this means is profound. It means that with the treatment, it resets the biological clock 3 years backwards. That means you can relive 3 years. You can do your disciplines. You can study with your masters. You can evolve all of your abilities to another level. And then you can do it again and further evolve and develop and look at all the dimensions of what you can be and what you can do. And you can expand in every area of your life. So if one did a treatment every 3 years, based on what we know now, one could literally live agelessly. We have a group called Rejuvenats that do treatments roughly every quarter. We have an increasing group of people that are anywhere from -12 to -18 years biologically. We have a triathlete who found that the age of his heart was actually 38 years younger than his chronological age. He was 73, and the age of his heart, based on his heart rate, was only 35, less than half his chronological age. So the potential of this, the ability to live agelessly, gives you that much more time to live, to learn, to grow, to really exert that full potential of what you can be with methods like vibrovision that is incredibly powerful, that I learned from Nate and many others along every aspect of your life. So that is the admonition, the encouragement to literally live and become your highest potential. And I believe there's a QR code that can take you to a landing page that gives more information if you want to know and learn more. And it is my great pleasure and honor to be with you to share these things, because I am really all about bringing potential and seeing all that we can be and become: love, light, creativity, experience, and otherwise. Thank you so much.
Wow. Dr. Todd, thank you so much. Dr. Todd is magic. Every single person on this panel is flat magic in what they do for the world and how they help other people and the world at large. So thank you to everybody here. Now, before we finish, what I'd like to do is I would like to ask a question that all of us can answer in our own individual way. Now, this question, for everybody out there listening, this will be relevant to you. So for all of us here, what is your number one piece of advice to achieve your highest potential for love, for life, and beyond? I think I'll bring Chad in, and we can actually have everybody here in the room together, and I'll have Chad answer that as well. What's your number one piece of advice to achieve your highest potential for love, for life, and beyond?
Well, on the subject of community, I would say foster the awareness, whether you do it through a practice like my community, Joyful of Heart, which you can join us anytime, it's an open invitation, but foster the awareness that the world outside of yourself is the expression of the divine, that you are not living yourself. So when you interact with another person or with a group of people or with a community, instead of seeing oneself as separate and apart from, but see oneself as one part of the divine in action. And that when you interact with the other, like when I interact with Nate or I interact with Dr. Todd, I am aware of the divine living through them so that I don't have to live that life experience. I get to experience it through their life experience. And I think that opens you to experience love in that full, complete, connected oneness manner, as opposed to just love for the self. That'd be my answer.
That is a beautiful answer, Chad. Thank you so much for sharing. That is absolutely useful every single day with every single person, because we are one. And Satyan, how about you? Your advice.
A very simple practice that I like to do for myself. And if we do this for a moment, all of us, close to me. Just close to me and close to things around you. And feel that closure, that contraction. And now I'm going to invite you, please, to open with me. Open with me. Connect with me. Open with me. And now close to me again. And now one last time, open with me. Open to me, open with me as I open with you. This internal mechanism of closing off to things, or the capacity within our soul to open to others and open to all things, is a very powerful key within us. And I found that the more I'm open to things, rather than resisting them or forcing them, trying to force things, that means usually I'm close to them. Or I'm trying to resist things, means I'm usually close to it. But when I start opening with things, even though they might be challenging, difficult, or ecstatic and amazing, which are easy to open with, but the more I'm open with things, the world goes into a flow state. The universe starts delivering to my heart what my heart is actually transmitting and truly yearning for. So my friends, I would say to all of us, let's continue, as my previous friend just said, let's open to each other. Let's open to each other as a divine expression of existence, as a fellow face, a different face of the same love that we are. So let's all open together, shall we? Deeper than we ever have.
All right, everyone out there, I hope you're really resonating and feeling these things, because this is wisdom that sages have been talking about for millennia, and you're getting it all in one nice little wrapped up package right here. Thank you so much, Chad. Thank you so much, Satyan. I'd like to bring up Caroline next, if we can get her on Zoom to come on up and answer the question for how she does this. Is that possible, Bernardo?
Yeah, just bear with me. Just give me 1 second. Okay. We'll bring her straight in.
Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, excellent job. Possibly.
Want to start talking?
Sure. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Caroline. This is beautiful. Yeah, we can hear you well.
Okay, great. Yeah, for me, I think the advice that I would give is to trust and believe, because in yourself, obviously, because we're constantly bombarded with distractions, challenges, stories, past experiences, patterns that keep popping up. It's very difficult to lose our way, to keep that trust that we are on the right path, that we are getting there. And so when you think you're lost, when you think things aren't going well, or that everything you worked hard for is not paying off, that is exactly the time to stop what you're doing and kind of go within your heart and see if you can bring your vibration and your focus back to trust. Because if there is no trust, if there is no belief in yourself, then how can you keep going and achieve what you're here to achieve? And so, I've been working with individuals for 20 years for self-development. And of course, I made the film Superhuman, and showing the connection between consciousness and the physical world. And, I tell every single experiment we've done, every single things that we've shown tells us that if initially you don't have the trust and the belief in yourself, then don't even try, to be honest. So that is what I feel is a fundamental tool that we should always bring ourselves to every morning. Where am I? Do I trust in me? Do I trust in the divine? Do I trust in the universe? And don't start going about your work and your business until you are vibrating in that frequency.
Like the saying goes, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Thank you so much, Caroline. Beautiful wisdom. Absolutely. Trusting in the process and understanding that we're here to learn. How beautiful is that? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Todd, to wrap this up before I come on, what is your advice for everyone?
What I would recommend is find the highest masters, teachers, and trainers that you can, and to exert discipline and persistence to get all the gifts that they can provide to you, and to love everything you do, every moment of it, with your heart, mind, body, and soul, and use as your yardstick the criterion of up-leveling. Moving to the next, What is the wall? Move through the wall, go to the next level. And if you do that, as you up-level, you may find yourself at a place of potential power and even superhumanness beyond what you could have imagined before. And I would also suggest you consider yourselves masters in progress for working towards full mastery. And if that is the goal, who knows what you could achieve or experience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Todd. Wow, I think everybody should watch this replay about 5 times to really digest what everybody here has said. That was so profound. And that ties actually into my advice, that we're here to learn. Our souls didn't come here to do a 9-to-5 job, to get a retirement, and then to die. Granted, we, of course, are learning during that process. But my advice is to experience as many things as possible in this lifetime. Things outside your comfort zone, things you never thought, whether it's a food, whether it's skydiving, whether it's talking to somebody that you're afraid to talk to, having hard conversations, experiencing a full variety that we get to experience as humans and conscious beings on this planet. Finding those masters, trusting in yourself, doing everything that every panelist has talked about and everybody on this event is talking about is so important, because it's not just about me, it's about we. Think about it that way, that we are all part of the same being, including my cat who's coming on here. We talked about a dog, so he must have heard that. So, as we do this life thing, and there's no getting out of it alive, right? So you might as well experience as much love, as much experience as possible. Now, I have a free gift on my website where you can actually start to learn some of the vibration basic techniques you won't be seeing without your eyes of driving a car after doing the free lesson, but it will give you a really good insight into a very unique method to help you unlock your superhuman abilities. Dr. Todd can help you grow younger. Caroline can help you understand universal consciousness. Satyan can help you become the very best heartfelt leader, even if it's just for your family, that you can possibly be. And Chad can help you heal the world. So for all of my panelists, for Bernardo, for everyone who has been here today, it has been my honor. It's been my pleasure to be part of the all, including him. Oh, of all the times. This is another thing. Satyan, enjoyed the conversation with your father. And Bernardo, I love you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm looking forward to looking forward to Caroline next.
Thank you so much, all of you. And it's been a challenge technically, but I've got to say, it's just been absolute wisdom from all of you. Satyan, Chad, Dr. Todd, and Caroline. What an amazing panel. And this offer has already been discussed, but I want you all, I need you all at the Best You Expo, okay, between the 3rd and 5th of March. We're going to have these conversations. And this is what we need to bring to the world. So I am extremely grateful to all of you. Thank you so much. Everything that's happened has been amazing and magical, including your cat, Nate. We had a cat on yesterday, so it's all good. and we had a dog as well. So it's all fantastic. It's all part of being live, working from home. And
He loves
I am, once again, I'm extremely grateful. Thank you to all of you. And we've got Caroline Cory coming on literally within just a few minutes. So we're just going to be 20, 30 seconds and we'll bring her on. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you all. Take care.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Nate. So yes, we're going to be bringing on everyone. We've got Caroline Cory coming up in just a minute. So just stay tuned because we've got her connected now. We won't lose that connection and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Future medicine will be the medicine of frequency. Well, the future is here. The future is now.
It's one of the best opportunities in history to awaken and reclaim who you really are.
Hi, I'm Sajady, and I help you manifest abundance and reach your full potential through what I call exponential intelligence. So hundreds of thousands have used exponential intelligence to live the life they deserve by ridding themselves of old patterns, blocks, and distortions faster than anything that's out there. XI leads the consciousness evolution by helping you transform yourself, your loved ones, your world.
Here we are, we're back. We had some technical issues, but it was an absolutely phenomenal panel. Very, very grateful to have had, the phenomenal panelists that we had and the subjects of becoming superhuman. They're all invited to come on board and join us at the Best You EXPO. But I'm very excited about our next guest. Let me see if I can just bring her in right now. And there she is. There's Caroline. Let me just do a very brief intro for Caroline, who is just a phenomenal lady. She's an award-winning filmmaker, author, and the founder of Omnium Method of Energy Medicine and Consciousness Studies. As a child and throughout her life, Cory has had numerous ESP, extrasensory, and paranormal experiences, which led her to become deeply connected to spirituality, the study of consciousness, existential topics, and the mechanics of the universe. So we're very excited to hear Caroline speak. The title of her talk is How to Achieve Full Brain Capacity and Universal Consciousness. Caroline, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you perfectly. So yes, well, I'll just leave you to it. And thank you so much. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline Cory, and I want to tell you a little bit about my background because it ties into the subject matter, actually. And so I was 5 years old when I had an extraordinary experience. I was just there, and all of a sudden, I see these beings that show up out of nowhere. They were it was just like a body of light. It was this extraordinary light that suddenly showed up in the living room. In fact, I remember very well because it was Christmas Eve. And I remember looking around, my parents were all like fighting over the Christmas tree and the gifts and fussing around all of the human stuff. And I was kind of looking and thinking, what does this have to do with love and Jesus, even though I'm 5 years old, right? So I was just noticing that human interactions were devoid of love because it was just bickering and silly stuff. And exactly at that time, I felt that presence. And it was extraordinary because of the contrast between what I was experiencing here in my human life and what what this body of light was bringing to me. And so all of a sudden, of course, it felt so amazing. It felt like I was wrapped with unconditional love. And so all of a sudden I realized that we were communicating. There was some sort of communication. And it was organic, obviously. I didn't have to make any effort, but then what I felt was kind of like this energy was kind of like my lineage, like my larger consciousness. And what was more important is I realized that I could see the subtle energy, meaning I could literally see them, and I could see the space between my human body and them and how the information was being transferred. So the biggest kind of take from this whole experience was that even though we are here in this human form, our connection to our larger stream of consciousness, to our universal consciousness, is never severed. We think it is, but it continues on. It's almost like I was on this side of the veil in human form, and here was this body of light. And so this communication was very organic, and they kind of said to me, this communication will not stop, but you have to ask. Of course, I'm like 5 years old, right? Nobody teaches, nobody talks to you about this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, how do I ask? I want this, you know? And they said, you just have to focus, watch what your brain is doing right now, and just focus that way, and this communication will continue. And so, of course, I did that, and off they left. And of course, at the time, after this was over, I didn't think it was anything special. I thought, oh, everybody has those experiences. And so I didn't really talk about it. But what it did is I started thinking, wait a minute, how did I do this? Like, how is it possible that here are people in human form, and then there is this energy that's beyond our physical bodies that is there? How do the two worlds interact and connect? And so I kept asking this question, and I realized, of course, as I grew up, I realized, first of all, that this experience was not so common. In other words, maybe people would have it, but they wouldn't remember it or what have you. And because of that, I didn't want to just talk about it. I wanted to understand the mechanics, the mechanism that allowed me to do that. And so I realized that it's all consciousness. It's all about consciousness. And so what happened was I wanted to understand how consciousness works, how it continues on, what makes physical versus non-physical, what is universal consciousness. So before I knew it, I embarked on this journey of consciousness study and research. And I started to develop methodologies to how to realize, first of all, that I wasn't crazy because it was like, yeah, I know this was real. I know I experienced this, but what if I made stuff up? What if I imagined it and convinced myself that it was real? You know what I mean? So I spent a long time kind of trying to understand what my brain functioning was doing, and then what allowed that experience, and if I was in balance or if I was not, and so on and so forth. And so, of course, I'm fast forwarding here because we only have a few minutes for this whole story. And I realized that, no, I wasn't crazy. I did something actually organically that everybody can do, and which was a few things. One, I noticed that I was in a specific vibration. Of course, many people talk about that. My vibrational field was about 734 hertz to 1,000 hertz. So it was a very specific range that when the cells vibrate exactly within that range, it's almost like you switch channels. It's almost like you are on an AM frequency as in a radio. You switch to FM. You're in a completely different dimensional state. So that was the first, and of course I'm kind of not going into the technical aspect of it or how I figured this out. I'm just giving you the final outcome or the result. And so that was the first thing that happened that allowed me to tap into this information. The second thing is I started to look at my brain, like what part of my brain was doing what and how and what happened. And I realized that my brain is as if I had channels, like umbilical cords, going out of my brain. There was 3 channels, and they were going out and becoming very perfectly aligned. They were kind of plugging into a space, basically a frequency that I call source. So it was kind of bypassing the human functioning, like the human spectrum, the way you see, the way you hear. It was bypassing all of this, and it was plugging into this source, the source energy. And so that was interesting. And I realized that every time I did that, exactly that, I would achieve that state of consciousness. Basically, it was an altered state of consciousness, but it allowed me to hear, see, sense, understand, experience everything that was beyond the physical, all the way to a universal level. Meaning, if I asked, for example, how did I get here? Or who am I in this lifetime? Or whatever. The information would come from that aspect of my being instantaneously. And so because of this, because it was very specific, I'm kind of like, I think I'm like an engineer or a scientist or something. I'm a psychologist by education. Actually, my academic background is a psychologist, but I think like a scientist or like an engineer, I want to know exactly how things work. And so I started to look at all types of meditation techniques. And I realized that not all meditations are created equal, meaning not all meditations, even though they achieve a state of relaxation or focus or what have you, but they didn't necessarily achieve those two things I just mentioned instantaneously, meaning that vibrational frequency and those mind channels being aligned in this way. So I created a very simple, actually, it looks simple, but it took a little while, meditation called Connecting to Source, because I realized that that's at the base of everything that I was about to do. And by the way, it's free on my website. Anybody can download it and do it. And so this simple meditation contains this vibrational field. And so when you do it, you're kind of just right there. But what was more fascinating was I started to look into the actual brain. And I realized that once I was in that state of consciousness, my brain became coherent, which means that, as you know, when you are thinking, like right now, I'm thinking and talking and doing all of that stuff. So my brain is firing, the frontal lobe is firing, the temporal lobe is firing, because I'm trying to find my words and think and process and things like that. So your brain is firing here and here and there and doing all kinds of stuff. But when you are in this state of consciousness, the brain goes from firing right and left to becoming perfectly coherent. It's like a torus. And in fact, we did that exercise with EEG with other neuroscientists that I work with. And we try to compare how you are in a type of meditation to just relax, calm down. And then when you do this particular exercise, and we realize you can actually see it. I wish I had it to share with you. But basically you see those different parts of the brain all of a sudden become very, very coherent, where the central part of the brain is the most concentrated. And then it's literally like, when you cut an apple in the middle, it was exactly like perfectly uniform and perfectly coherent around this one point, which is a 0 point. I call it a 0 point. So I eventually understood, again, this is kind of stepping, going fast through the steps after years and years and years of work and research, that when you are in the state of consciousness, your brain functioning basically dips into the 0 point and emerges back, just like a torus, like I said. So you know how people think we operate with 10% brain capacity. And then people think, when we evolve, we're going to have 20% brain capacity and then 30%. And that's how we evolve. I don't agree. Because of my work and my research and everything that I've done in 20 years, I realized that you have full brain capacity right now. We just don't know how to do it and how to access it. So it's not like we're going to evolve from 10% to 11 to, like in a linear, humans think that everything is linear. That's not how it works. Through the proper training, you align this 0 point with the 0 point. I'll talk about the larger aspect, but it's almost like you create geometric coherence within the brain, and that automatically gives you the full brain capacity, because that 0 points, once it is in this full geometric coherence, it becomes coherent with the larger geometry of the planet, the larger planetary grid system, basically the energy field of the planet, so to speak, which is coherent with the larger galactic framework, which is coherent with the much larger geometry of the universe, just like that. I don't know how many of you think this is so out there, but because I'm skipping steps and things like that. But when you actually do it correctly, you can literally feel that every 0 point in your brain it becomes, again, like I said, it kind of aligns with all these other 0 points in the larger picture. And whatever you think here, when you go into this one specific area in your brain, you can access its course. Think about this. Does it make sense to you that whoever created reality, whoever created intelligent life, whoever is the inventor or the creator behind all of this, created an intelligent species such as, humans, and put them on a planet so far away in the universe and said, okay, this intelligent species is going to have a brain, but they're only going to use 10% of it. I don't know why they would give us the full brain if we can only use 10%. They could have just given us 10%. But so imagine that they would say, we're only going to let them use this teeny part of the brain, and they can never communicate with the rest of the universe. They're just going to be, isolated on their little planet down there. Does it even make sense to you when you look around on this planet with the thousands and millions types of breeds and species and animals and trees and nature, how everything communicates with everything here on the earth? Is it possible that we are in constant energetic communication and coherence down here, but then we're not allowed to continue communicating with the larger container, if you will, which is source, which is the universe? It's kind of like the universe is one body and the earth is, let's say, an organ. Let's say that your liver. So the body communicates with all the, the brain, which is source, communicates constantly with every cell in your body, every organ in your body, all the time, whether you like it or not. You can't just say, okay, we're going to isolate the liver. If you isolate the liver, another liver or something else is going to take its place, if that makes sense. So in the same way, we're here on the earth, but we're never severed. We're never disconnected from the larger body. And so the idea is, I realize, of course, the more I did this work, the more I taught this and worked with hundreds of people around the world, I realized that not only this was crucial to achieve what I call universal consciousness, to understand the bigger picture, but this is precisely why we're here. This is precisely to come into this little body that seems very limited, very finite, very confusing, really, and appears to be very separate, and to reconnect, basically, with your original essence, with this larger aspect of your being, so that when you want to move forward, when you want to evolve this human aspect of your being, you don't evolve from this perspective, you evolve from the larger perspective. And so the idea, when people say awaken, what are you awakening to? What are we tapping into? We are awakening to our original universal consciousness, because we all came from somewhere, not from this planet. I mean, some people did. That's another conversation. But anyway, so you started out as the universal consciousness. You took on this temporary little body, but the idea is to reestablish this connection and communication between the human you and the larger you. Now think about this. When you do this, like let's say right now, obviously I've been doing this work for a long time. The more I am conscious of my larger consciousness, my universal consciousness, the more I incorporate it into everything that I think, say, or do. When I do a meditation, that's in the morning, for example, that's exactly what I say. I summon the universal aspect of my being to come through, to guide me through everything that I think, say, or do today, so that I maintain my alignment, so that it could keep pushing me forward on my higher path, on what I'm here to do. And so when you do that, you start to realize that you are really fulfilling a purpose. Because it's all about frequency. Needless to say, the universal you is a lot smarter than the human you. We all know that. And so when you start to incorporate the knowledge, by the way, once you are in that state of consciousness and your brain and your human aspect is all coherent with your universal aspect, it means that you are bringing your original essence through. This means that if you have anything to heal in your body, you can correct it, self-correct. If you want guidance, what am I doing this? What is this about? Should I take this job? Should I marry this person? Why am I not attracting abundance? So on and so forth. All of this information is there, but when you bring it from your higher universal aspect, you start to then resolve the issue instantaneously, because that is the bird's eye view, if you will. And so that's why I feel understanding this principle is really the key, becomes the fundamental solution, if you will, to where you are on your journey, what your higher purpose is, and how to resolve your daily issue, your daily quandary, whatever it is. Does that make sense? And so that's why I feel, it sounds so easy, and it is actually. You just have to kind of understand the principle and start to apply the tools and believe that you are already multidimensional. You're not 3-dimensional and then 4-dimensional and then 5-dimensional. You are right now, as soon as you're born as a human, you already have access to the wisdom, to the knowledge, to the energy of the entire universe, just like that. And so going back to the theme of this conversation, how do we become superhuman? Exactly like this. That is the idea of being in a human form and allowing the superhuman aspect or universal aspect of your being to be incorporated, to be expressed through everything that you think, say, or do. And those superhuman abilities will just be natural to you, if that makes sense. I want to see if anybody has any questions while I am talking. I think I still have a few more minutes, but if anybody has any questions from what I've said so far, you can type them in the chat, and I think Bernardo will facilitate if that's okay with you. But let me see if I can wrap this up, or at least guide you. So on my website, carolinecory.com, but also my YouTube channel, there's all these meditations for free, by the way. It's on YouTube. And so you can start with the connecting to source meditation, and which kind of brings you into this alignment and this vibrational field that I talked about. And then there are specific meditations that align you with 0 points energy. So there's a specific 0 point, like I said, at the center of the brain. There's another 0 point behind the heart, and then there's a third 0 point behind the navel. And so again, I'm skipping all the technical details, but basically when you align all these 0 points, you start to align with the geometry of the universe, and then you open all the channels this way. So all of this is available on my YouTube and my website. And then for those who are interested in the superhuman skills, I recommend that you start with this work, because you're preparing your apparatus. You are creating the foundation that allows you to be able to do anything. And so of course, I hope people have watched my movie Superhuman, The Invisible Made Visible, where we stop talking about that the mind affects the body, but we actually demonstrate. We demonstrate how this is true and this is possible. So I encourage everybody to watch that film, superhumanfilm.com, and you'll also see some specific exercises. Same with what Nate, everybody should check out his work about seeing with blindfolds. It's absolutely amazing. And so, so anyway, that's for the movie. If there's a question, please go ahead and let me know.
Hi, Caroline. Thank you so much. Bernardo here. What a great talk. So much knowledge, and it's unbelievable the work that you've done and the things you've made, you've achieved. But how you've also focused on creating these amazing documentaries is fascinating to me. I love, obviously, films and documentary and producing, but a lot of the content that you've done. We've shared your QR codes. And we've also shared the links for the Superhuman. This morning, I showed a very brief, the 2-minute video you've got, I think, on YouTube about the amazing documentary, which I highly recommend that people watch. There is a question here. Someone, actually, it's Doria Cordova, who's been involved in a lot of our panels, Dame Doria Cordova. She was asking, how do you apply this to bring more productivity to our lives?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So I made it very, very simple. So this meditation that used to be 2 hours long is now 7 minutes long on purpose, so that you can get to do it every single day and apply it every single day. What people don't realize, it's about frequency. It's a specific signature that you are tapping into. In other words, I could be saying connecting to source, and somebody else could be saying connect to source. But the way I am tapping into the words of connecting to source is not the same, if you will, because it's coming out of my consciousness, if you will. So that's why I'm saying, I'm not telling you to not do other work or whatever. I'm saying that work does whatever it does. But if you want to do this type of work, you can add that to your protocol and do this connecting to source meditation, 7 minutes in the morning. Now you have aligned your mind channels and you've changed your vibrational field, and you are in this perfect alignment and coherence. Set your intention after you are in this state of consciousness for each day. And I recommend to focus on one thing. In other words, if you're struggling with work and money and relationship, 5 or 6 different things, focus on one thing that would get resolved or accomplished that day, and then go about your day. And don't worry about it, just trust, because sometimes, because of time space, the way we are multidimensionally experiencing it, again, it's not linear. It's not cause and effect. It's not like eventually it will be. Actually, this is where the planet is moving. But right now there's a bit of, sometimes I say something today and it happens right away. But sometimes I say it today, but it happens in a few days. And sometimes I say it today and it happens in a week. That time is getting shorter and shorter. The more you do this work, the more you are collapsing the timelines, if you will, so that your asking becomes more and more spontaneous and instantaneous. So you just have to do it over and over and over. And it's almost like your brain recognizes that frequency, that signature, and it will know exactly, because let's put it this way, source energy is the energy of the universe. It's like the brain of the universe. So you are plugging yourself into the original hub. It is the most powerful, which is unconditional love, among other things. It is the most powerful energy in the universe to create what you want. Having said that, again, there's another course that I have, I have to say it for those who really, really want to be very methodical, like I am actually. It's called the Creative Formula. So what happens is that, again, it's on my website, Caroline Cory. But what happens is that this kind of protocol allows you to see where you're stuck. What is in your subconscious mind that needs to be released before you create what you want? So for example, I say, I want to create abundance. I'm visualizing and I'm putting out this intention and, all this affirmations and things like that. This is all great. Don't get me wrong, but it's not enough, because my conscious mind is saying, I want to create abundance. I want to create abundance. I want to create abundance. But my subconscious mind is saying the opposite. It's saying, I'm not ready, or money is evil, or I'm not worthy, so on and so forth. So if you don't, so you're sending to the universe as much affirmation and visualization that you're putting out there. You're at the same time telling the universe the opposite. And so that's the reason why we end up not creating. So the fastest way is to figure out what your subconscious mind is saying. And that protocol that I just mentioned, the creative formula, allows you to bring up to the surface what exactly the root cause of your block, so that you can reprogram it, and then you create with affirmation and visualization.
Amazing. Fascinating, Caroline. You've done so much great work in so much, and you've got so many resources. So I hope everyone takes advantage. I'm going to share that. I'm going to share that QR code again, just to hopefully, people take advantage of this, of your generosity of being able to download your online courses and this meditation. But Caroline, thank you so much. I believe you're in France. You're in Europe, are you?
Yeah, I'm actually very jet lagged today. I hope it didn't come across.
Not at all.
I just got here in the south of France. Speaking of energy, the energy is amazing here. I'm in the middle of a preserved forest and just incredible energy. But I also want to encourage people to see my latest film. It's slightly different subject, but it really opens, if that's okay, Bernardo.
Of course.
Just real quick. Yeah. My last film, A Tear in the Sky. I guess you can see the poster behind me here. And the reason why I love this film, even though the subject's slightly different, but we ended up literally finding a wormhole. And so I really encourage people, this is the beginning of a whole new area of research that we're after right now. That's really very, very promising and very exciting.
Very exciting. I saw the trailer, and obviously with William Shatner, who doesn't love William Shatner in the documentary. So amazing. Congratulations. I highly recommend people watch that too. Caroline, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you so much for sharing so much, and also your contribution towards the love event. I know you invited a lot of people to come along. A lot of people have come here thanks to you, and I want to thank them and thank you. But yes, lots of love, and hopes we can connect and, do something at the Best You EXPO next year.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. How amazing was that? How amazing is Caroline? I highly, highly recommend that you watch these documentaries because they will blow your mind. Anyway, we're going to be back in a few minutes. We've got a couple of guests that we want to say hi to, but we're just going to be back in literally a minute. Thank you so much. See you soon. Okay, here we are. Well, we're just about to hit 10 to 1. Let me just I've got 3 ladies, so listen, I'm in great company here. Let me make sure that we all share the screen equally. There we go. I've got Simi, Francess, and Jessa Carter. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Fabulous, Bernardo. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. Still smiling.
Always.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, well, let me just introduce you quickly. Jessa. Jessa Carter is a neuro finesse expert. So Carter is the most highly sought intuitive visionary and divine life strategist and high achieving leaders and entrepreneurs who are missing fulfillment, joy, and passion in their life, despite their massive success. As a former founder and CEO of Divine Heart Dynasty, she excels in redefining and reinventing yourself, your life, your business, and your relationships to soaring heights that defy logic so that your time on earth is by intentional design, never by default. Jessa, thank you so much for being here again today.
Thank you so much for having me, Bernardo.
Good. How's it going?
Wonderful. It's been a
Yes.
busy morning already.
Yes. Okay, great. How did you find the day yesterday?
I loved it. It was really powerful.
Great talks as well. Francess, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, really enjoying the show, really enjoying listening and also taking part.
Yeah, thank you, Francess. So Francess was she was with us as well. She was sharing one of her. So Francess is poetry and non-fiction on health, healing, prophecy, stress, hurt, pain, and well-being. Francess is a former therapist, explores the boundaries of love and fear in search of the resolve of abuses causing stress, trauma, grief, sickness, and pain. From Genesis to Revelation, and from the stars to the starfish. Her work addresses it all in between to inspire love, trust, security, and safety for justice and peace, for the fullness of the fruits of the Holy Spirit, for creating heaven on earth. Francess, so how was the event? I've seen you've been engaging. I've seen you in Zoom. I've seen you here popping in to say hello on StreamYard as well. How are you doing?
I'm good. You probably know my computer skills are not the best. So I've been into StreamYard a few times. I've got my timings wrong, but at least I'm here at the right time.
No, you are. And I've seen you as well. I saw you on Zoom engaging and sharing love. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Sorry, Donnie. So
I was just going to say what I didn't put in my bio, because actually that's my bio from a few years ago, I think, when I used to submit poems. But I do write on the gemstones of Revelation and the healing consciousness that they reveal. So that's the main message of my work, and that's what I cover in all of my poetry. So,
yes, and you kind enough to share a poem the other day. I hope we've got some time later on this afternoon. Dr. Simi. Dr. Simi is a mind-body medicine practitioner, board certified in family medicine, holistic health coach, trained in functional medicine and in medical intuitive. Love is an expression of the divine feminine, and it's the embodiment of the divine feminine that we can experience love in its fullest form and understand its varying expressions. Love is just not kind and caring, but fierce and daring. I love that. She began unlocking its fullest expression only when she began to love herself. So, ladies, I wanted to kind of freestyle here in the conversations we're trying to have here around love, kindness, and caring. What are your thoughts? What do we need to do in order to kind of care more, love more? What's missing? Anyone jump in? I've never seen this before.
From my experience working with patients who come in with physical illnesses that can vary anywhere from cancer to high blood pressure to autoimmune diseases, the missing component, hands down, every time is self-love. And self-love is very hard to attain, especially when we've been conditioned throughout our lives and been told many times through families, our gender, our race, our community, our media, telling us that we're no good, and that begins to seep in. And as we talked about in the psychedelic talks yesterday, it's like the ski tracks that form. And how do we begin to reduce that imprint of that so that we can begin to love ourselves and truly come into our health? Because I can tell you, as a trained family practitioner, we learn nothing about preventative care. Absolutely nothing. We tell the patient to go home and, exercise some more. And that's about it. I mean, we get 2 weeks in nutrition. It is such a complex subject. And we get 2 weeks in nutrition and are told that some of the things that I now know are not good for us, we're taught that they are good for us. So it's a complete paradigm shift that we need to fall into if we are to reclaim our health. And we can do so truly by self-love. And love has all the frequencies. Loves all the frequencies. So say you're missing even a vitamin, say vitamin B12, love has that frequency. I've seen it firsthand from a gentleman who was 70 years old at the time, and he went and underwent a hernia repair surgery that didn't go well. And a month later, he was back because that developed into an abscess. A month later, he was back because that developed into hematoma. He was finally looking at his fourth surgery, And this was back in April of 2012. And I was as green as they get on the spiritual journey. So the download came that he needed to heal his relationship with his wife in order for that wound to heal. We were just talking by email, and at first he kind of griped about it. And then he said, fine, I'll just give her unconditional love. I'm going to take a baby step. And I said, that's a great baby step. So he went on to love her unconditionally, and we were in the class, so he knew what to do. Within 2 days, he rekindled his relationship with his wife that he'd been estranged from for 20 years. And within 10 days, his wound healed up completely, and he did not need another surgery. And he had a seroma, which we know as practitioners can take at least 3 to 4 months to heal, if it heals at all. Amazing. So all it took was self-love. And from a functional medicine perspective, I can argue that he was probably missing in a lot of vitamins and minerals and whatnot, and that could interfere with the healing process. But when the love came in, it healed everything.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. Thank you so much. Yes, what would you like to add to self-love? Francess,
well, I'd like to say, because the greatest command is to love God, and God is love, and to love God means to observe the commandments, and to love God, our neighbours, as ourselves. So we are included in that equation. And actually, everything in life, if we make the decision of what loves us, what loves others, and loves the greater good, whatever you want to call it, then you can't go wrong, because we're working at every level, and that's mind, body, and spirit. And that's where the love comes from. And I say that, love is not a cortisol stress hormone. We're living in a world that is fueled by stress. But the children are under stress. I don't know what you've got going on in your countries, but in our countries now, they're bringing sexual education of an adult nature into primary school students. And that is not love. It's not protecting the children. It's not allowing them to develop with trust and security and faith in the fullness of the spirit, the joy and the freedom. I mean, children shouldn't be oppressed by exams as well. It's just let them evolve and enjoy. And the arts are so creative. There's so much that can be learned through play and through healthy play. And let's not frustrate the children, and then they won't want to sort of go into some of these things that they're looking at doing now. So it's we need to bring that love into the world, the love for everybody, for all ages, looking after the older people, not separating them off into homes and drugging them so that they're just existing. Let's reunite life together. And for all the age groups, and to stop all the separation and division, allow the family to reconnect as a normal, healthy family, which does come from the theocratic way for life. As does the justice and peace. That's the basis of law. The basis of law is to make known what is falling short of love. That's what a sin is. Yeah, it's falling short of love, because it creates the stress response in the body, which creates the cortisols, which cause the stress and all the mental health and illness in the body. Yeah, love is not a cortisol. And the end is the beginning of the word endorphin. His love in our blood.
And sorry to have to finish it. The only reason is because we're changing stream in a minute. And I have to stick to the time. And I want to invite you ladies later on today. We'll send you a message. Jessa, any final thoughts on that? I would like you to say something. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I would say, just to extend upon that investing in yourself is absolutely the best investment you will ever make. So regardless of where you start on that journey of investing in yourself, that initial path for me was investing in myself, seeking more success and more abundance. And what came from that was this path and this journey and this evolution into the highest expression of self. So unfortunately, society kind of puts a damper on prioritizing yourself. And prioritizing yourself is the most valuable thing that you can ever do. So I have a term that I coined, which is selflessly selfish. Because when you place yourself in that highest position, and you're really caring for yourself, and you're really loving yourself, and you're really investing in yourself and becoming that highest expression and version of yourself, then you have more to overflow. You're overflowing. So you're able to then give to others and love others in an even higher way than you can. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? And so the highest way to give, whether that's love, financially, whatever it is that you're giving, is to give from a place of overflow.
Well, ladies, thank you so much. Sorry that was brief, but it was very valuable. Thank you for the love that you're bringing to the Love event, because you're all beautiful souls and you're bringing so much great energy. The three of you. I've seen you a couple of times, and I will be talking about this at the Best Expo. So thank you so much, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you all. Take care.
Thank you.
What is life? Your life isn't just about what you're doing now. Your life is the sum of every hope you ever had and everything you ever wanted to be. Life is about the situations you deal with, how you get to where you want to be, and how you become who you want to be. Life is a collection of moments and